you, Nick. What do you mean I sound funny today, Merle?
He's high.
Who, Merle?
No, you.
Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next 3 hours or so, along with Mike.
Yes, and I will be Mike for the next 3 hours or so.
And Nick is here too.
Good morning, Amnon.
Good morning.
Oh, no good morning to me.
No, you don't deserve one.
He hates
And
you.
am I echoing?
He hates you. No?
No, you're not echoing.
Okay, so it must be Merle.
He
I know
does
what
have
the problem is. He's on a Mac.
He is on a Mac, I can
Yep.
confirm.
Our number is 919-518-9773. Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And this morning's show is being brought to you by that VidBlastTheGuy.com, Tom Sinclair, and by Adamus.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters for professionals. And everything seems to be okay. I'm trying a new routine when we start.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
But it's fine. It's all good. It's all good.
How was your week, Amnon?
Week has been pretty good, as a matter of fact. Kind of
Any
quiet.
exciting computer news?
Nothing to complain about. But I had an experience with a computer from hell. A customer called Thursday and said that she needs to upgrade her computer from XP to Windows 7. And she cannot find an upgrade version of Windows 7. So I explained that there is no such thing from XP to Windows 7. And she said, well, I mean, I really don't want to redo. I don't use the computer for a lot. This is my second computer. But I really wanted to stay with the same way. I said, there's no way to do it. I said, well, just keep on using it like this. And I asked her what antivirus she was using. And she was using Security Essentials. I said, well, what we need to do is we need to get rid of that and install maybe Avast. And you'll be good to go. And she said, okay, I can go do it. She's pretty good with computers. She called after a few hours and said that when she installed Avast, after it finished, it hung. And she had to switch it off. And when she's turning it on now, it doesn't come up. It just sits there. I said, well, go ahead and bring it over. We'll see. It shouldn't be a problem. Oh, no, it did come up, and she tried to uninstall it, but it was not in the add and remove programs, so she couldn't do it. So I said, okay, bring it over. And long story short, I worked on that machine off and on for about Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I really don't understand how you install a program and it's not in the add remove programs.
Well,
And
I think I have a theory here.
never seen this.
It probably hung on the installer, so she just held down the power button and it turned off,
Yeah.
and it didn't fully do its install and didn't add itself to add remove programs. what
Adding
I'm
to add remove programs is part of the installation process. It is
Right.
an actual function that is written into the installer.
Well, I mean, it never happened to me before, so I said, what in the world is going on? But, so I went ahead and I went into the registry and removed anything that had to do with Avast, which it did not let me because it says a lot of it was being used, and went into MS-config and removed it, and went into services and removed it, and removed any files that I could remove in the program itself on the file system. The computer got to a point where it was so slow, it was not even funny. I would click on something, go sit at my desk, do some work, keep looking at the monitor on the bench, and suddenly it will change. And I'll go ahead and continue doing it. Got to the point where everything was removed as far as Avast. But it acted like the hard drive would keep on flashing. I said, well, maybe something wrong with the hard drive. So I took the hard drive out, put it on another machine, and copied it all to another drive just to be on the safe side. And then I ran check disk and I ran SpinRite, found some errors, fixed them. I put it back, it's the same way. I've never seen a computer behave like this. I put another drive on that on her computer, which is an XPS huge machine. It was a gamer's machine.
Dell XPS, yeah.
And I couldn't install Windows 7. It came up with all kind of errors. And I said, okay, well, I guess the motherboard is bad.
Sound like a bad memory module to me.
Well, I took the memory out, I replaced it, same thing. I called her, and she was ordering Windows 7 at that point because I said there's something wrong with the operating system. I don't know that I would trust it. I called her and I said, forget about it. I think the computer is completely messed up. And you're going to need to get a new one, and it'll come with the operating system, I assume. She said, okay. As I keep on working on the computer, I looked at the power supply, and the power supply vent on the inside was completely caked with dust. I mean, thick quilt. So I vacuumed it. Nothing made any difference. But it would come up. Every now and then it will boot and right away into the desktop and will be very responsive. And you reboot, and it'll just sit on the welcome, or it'll sit right before the desktop comes up and just sit there. So when it finally came up, I said, okay, I'm going to try and install Avast. So I went ahead and downloaded, installed it. It went perfectly fine the whole way, only it was kind of slow. When other computers will bang, 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 it took about maybe 20 minutes to finish. When it finished, it hung. Or I thought it hung. But if you click the numlock, you see that it's not hung, it's working. I said, okay, it's doing something. So Control-Alt-Delete and to get into the Task Manager. Didn't do anything. I left it alone. 10 minutes later, it popped the Task Manager. And it was only using like 1%. And it was going back and forth from 1 to 2, 1 to 2, 1 to 2, 0, 1. I left it alone. When it finished and it said that Avast is done, which it did, I'm talking about 20 minutes to get to the point where it hung. It took probably another 30 minutes to say it's finished. I rebooted and everything is fine. Everything is absolutely fine. One problem. Cannot boot into safe mode. And it had a message about RRQ not equals or something. And I read about it, about XPS, and it seems like a lot of people had that problem with XP in the early days. But none of the solutions that they had from Microsoft or from Dell or any worked. But the computer is working. So I called her, I said, look, here's the computer. It's working. You can use it. But I don't know that I would trust it. I understand you're not doing anything serious about it. You can back up the stuff. I'll keep the backup over here that I have on my drive for a couple of months just to be on the safe side if something happened. But you really need to get another computer. Never had a situation like that with another computer. In all these years.
But I'm also curious at this point whether you have a flaky power supply.
Well, that's also possible. I did not replace the power supply because I didn't hit something like this with all the video card connections and...
Did you look for any bubbled caps on the motherboard?
Yes, I did. I was hoping I'm going to find something wrong with the motherboard. The reason is that she said that computer is still under Dell's service agreement, whatever, until June 22nd. She had an extended thing when she bought it.
Yeah, but if it's got XP, it must be... When did Windows 7 roll out?
Don't ask me. I mean, that's what she said when she came in. And I said, well, that's great. Then let's find out if there's something wrong. And she talked to them, and they said that they have to sit and go through a long form of questions. And if they find out that there is something wrong with the hardware, they will send somebody over to replace the parts. And I said, that'll be great. But at this point... I mean, I just wanted it out of here, sort of. I said, I don't want to have anything to do with this anymore. It is obviously something unusual.
I love the ones that are hard to fix.
Yeah. So that's my situation this week with computers. To finish them. And you know, when she came in, she said, okay, did you write me a bill? I said, I don't know that I did anything. I'm not going to charge you. I mean, you've been a good customer. I would really like to find out what's wrong, what was wrong with this. And if Dell ever tells you what it is, I really would like to know. But to go through, yeah, Brent, I did try SFC scan now. Absolutely.
So you never found out what was wrong?
I never found. I mean, there's obviously right now it doesn't seem like there's anything wrong as far as using it, because
wait, you vacuumed the power supply and it started working.
No, no. It started working after it finished installing Avast.
What was that before or after you installed vacuumed the power supply?
This is after. I mean, this was like half a day before. No, it kept on being flaky even after I this was on Friday that I vacuumed it. And it just... Good morning, Larry. Everybody, Larry Dial is here. Our old co-host is Mac Larry. It just... The thing is, right now, as far as I'm concerned, everything is okay. When she came in, she tried everything. Everything is working. The only problem is it will not boot into safe mode. It goes, you know how first all the drivers come up? All the drivers come up and it sits there for about maybe 5 seconds and blue screen.
Now this is XP or Windows 7?
That's XP. I could not install Windows 7 on it in the beginning But before I did everything, I put another drive and started and installed Windows 7, and it came up with all kind of errors. Now it could be the CD-ROM. At that point, it could have been the power supply because that's before I vacuumed the power supply. But it's just it's weird. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, gentlemen, ladies, and all the children that possibly are listening to.
What?
Good morning, gentlemen, ladies, and all the children that may be listening to.
Oh. How are things in the UK?
They are doing very well, and as far as I'm concerned. Maybe not for everybody, but for me, yeah, okay, thank you. How about in the US of A?
Everything is just fine.
Awesome.
Everything is just right.
It's nice to have things good in the world, isn't it?
Yep.
If only some of the other countries could follow suit, then we'd be a happy planet.
Is that, would I say, wishful thinking?
It's definitely one of the things they say, yes.
Yeah.
So when I called in, I didn't mean to interrupt. Please carry on.
Oh, no, I mean...
I was just thinking, Amnon, did you
looking...
check the CMOS battery on the motherboard?
No.
Always.
No. I thought that something had to do because, what was it? Oh, when Avast was kind of half-assed working in the beginning, but it said that the license has expired.
Well, that's because you have to register even the free version.
No. But when you install it, it gives you 30 days, and it will always say 30 days. You have 30 days, and you have to register. But this one said expired, so I thought that the date got screwed up, and I just checked the date, and it was fine. So I figured, yeah, everything is okay. The battery is all right. But I did not take out the battery to check it, no.
How computer savvy did you say this person was?
She was pretty good to install programs, and...
I am wondering if she downloaded a
64-bit.
A bad version of Avast. If she searched Avast download and some download free site came up.
No, I told
it.
I told her to go to avast.com.
Okay.
No, I did, yeah.
But there's another thing you can do. I'll remind you again. I learned this the hard way from a guy who really knows what he's doing. Anytime you run into a problem and it looks like it's a bad motherboard, you've eliminated everything else, or if you just want to be safe when you're rebuilding a computer,
right,
go into the BIOS. First thing you do is if the computer is a year old, check the CR2032 battery on the motherboard. They go bad. Sometimes, Amnon and I were talking about these batteries a few months ago. Sometimes if you buy these really cheap ones, like 10-20% of them are bad in the carton. So sometimes these batteries are bad. I have a Radio Shack battery tester that allows you to test button cells. You take them out, you check them. If it's bad, you put a new one in. They're 20 cents a piece from digikey.com. Once you put a new one in, you must go into the BIOS and reinitialize the BIOS with the optimized settings. When you do that, you may solve every problem you have with that computer. I had that problem with a USB driver not installing on a motherboard. And much to my surprise, when I reflashed the BIOS, just the F9 key or whatever it is, the problem went away.
Well...
I mentioned that story here. I had the problem with an IBM computer, a Lenovo computer I'd purchased from IT Exchange. And what happened was it would not go into the USB 2.0 mode. I went through, did everything I could, tried to install the drivers. It would not recognize USB 2.0 mode. Went through everything, combed it top to bottom, went through the BIOS, went through every setting, everything I could do. I took it back over to IT Exchange. I said it will not recognize USB 2.0. And if you don't think USB 2.0 is necessary, you try working on a computer now without it. They took it back to their shop that morning. That afternoon they called and said, "It's ready." And I got it back at the house, Started trying to use it again. I said, this is not right. I went back, and sure enough, all of the no warnings had come up or anything. It would boot. But then I looked into the device manager, and USB 2.0 enhanced driver had not installed. I did a little deeper searching and found out that they had disabled the warnings. That's how they fixed it, was by disabling the warnings. I was pretty hot about this time. Anyway, I did some research. I actually posted about it on Lenovo's forum. There's a guy there who's been doing Lenovo stuff for years and years and years and years. And his response is exactly what I just said to you. He said, I know this may sound crazy, and it may not make any difference, but I want you to try it just for grins. Go into the BIOS and reload the default values. Reboot, which you have to, of course, and see what happens. He did it. I did it. When I booted, it came up, recognized the USB 2.0 driver. It's been working perfectly ever since.
Interesting.
So what that means is, whatever the problem was with the BIOS is not something that showed up on the BIOS screen. It was a corrupted version of BIOS loaded into the computer. And I would tell you that if you take out a BIOS battery and check it, and if it's very low, make sure you reflash the BIOS, because whenever the voltage is low enough, the BIOS can go through what's called an indeterminate state, which may mean that at 95% works. And the other 5% may have some corruption in it. So you reflash it, you restore it, make it right, and go for it.
But again, that's still, and if you want to read about it, go for it, about the not being able to log into safe mode. I don't think that would have anything to do with any of that stuff. That has to be a corrupted operating system, and it's not seeing that it's corrupted. I mean, I can't say that it has nothing to do with it, because I don't know. It may be, and Mike, that thing about the battery may be the solution.
I would be more inclined to think there's something wrong with the boot sector on the hard drive.
Well, I did all kind of checks. Well, I can't remember what, and I did the scan disk, and I did the.
Did you run fixed boot?
No. I did the spin right on the drive. Everything was just right, and if it's the boot, then why does it go fine with normal mode?
Because if the entry that tells it to go into the safe mode is corrupt, and furthermore, did you pull up and look at the boot.ini file?
No, I did not.
See, that could have if all it would have to have would be a corrupt entry in the boot.ini file.
That's true. That's a good, very good point.
And believe it or not, you could probably have some corruption in the file and not be able to see it.
The thing is that when I went and started reading about XP, XPS, safe mode, not booting to safe mode.
You searched HP XPS?
No, Dell.
Searched Dell. Okay, I just wanted to make sure because
no. And the first one that came up was the exact message, something about RIQ not equals or less or something like that. And it took you through all kind of, sometimes we get caught in these things, and the solution is a lot simpler than what they're telling you. Oh, well.
And here is a program from bleepingcomputer.com called safebootkeyrepair.exe. The guy who tried it in this forum post, it did not work for him, and it may not work for you, but anyone who wants to dig under the hood of a computer and doesn't know about bleepingcomputer.com is missing some excellent information.
Agreed. All right.
And a rootkit can cause a lot of boot problems. And
I forgot to tell you, she did have a rootkit. That's the first thing that I thought of, and I ran TDSS Killer, and it found it. I said, okay.
So it's damaged the boot sector, so you probably should have run fix MBR or fix boot, which would rewrite the boot sector.
Yeah, I took it back a few days.
That's operating system. It's got nothing to do with the boot sector on the hard drive.
Yeah, I mean, when you don't come across stuff like this a lot, you don't think about these things until somebody like Mike reminds you.
Mike's an expert.
Yep.
I'm an expert. That's what it is. Nope, I have spent many hours chasing these things, and like Amnon, I don't charge anybody for it, so it doesn't become time sensitive. Well, there's Andrew Zarian.
Morning, Andrew. And good morning, Eiffel. And everybody in the chat.
And Merle. And Dan.
What about me?
And you are?
Yes. Morning, Nick.
Thank you, Steve.
Oh, Greg.
Oh, yes, Greg. Oh, yeah, my lower third is wrong.
Greg Nick.
So I have an interesting story.
Okay, let's hear your story now.
Am I loud enough? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, because I can't even hear myself talking.
Well, we talked about that.
We did. So, a brand new game, highly anticipated game. It's been delayed a few times. Has released this week. It came out Tuesday. The name of the game is Watch Dogs, and I'm not going to talk about the game because that's not the story here. But piracy is a problem. People decided to pirate this game, and tens of thousands of people that pirated this game called Watch Dogs were enslaved by a Bitcoin bot master. So, a torrent that I guess was up on, I would assume the Pirate Bay, infected, or at one point the torrent had over 40,000 active users and was downloaded almost 100,000 times. And this torrent installed a Bitcoin miner, and the game worked. So it was the actual game, but it also installed a Bitcoin miner. And even after you close the game, the Bitcoin miner would keep running. So there's probably now close to 100,000 people that are Bitcoin mining for God knows who, which is pretty interesting.
So what's the net effect? What's the bottom line?
I don't know what the bottom line is, but it's people need to stop downloading this torrent and I guess find another one that doesn't have a Bitcoin miner with it. But my thing here is I would assume that some of these people torrenting have a good clue how to use a computer and would see that their CPU usage is extremely high and trace it back and kill it, but not all of them. So I think that's pretty interesting. I think that's the first time that I've heard anything like that happening.
Well,
you got some of these computer systems now that put all of these utilities on your hard. I don't even remember what they call them now, but it's some sort of Lenovo put some sort of it's not UEFI, some sort of monitoring system on the hard drive, and the hard drive sits there flickering all the time. It's always doing something, and you have to go in and take that crap off.
Yeah, search in most cases.
This is not. This is actually something at a hardware level, and I'll have to think about what it is. I don't recall.
I'm going to post the article in chat for anybody that wants to look into it any further.
Now, you also had an event this week with PayPal.
Yeah, I mean, is there anything to talk about?
Well, I think it's a valid concern. I think people don't realize how screwed up things can be. It could be helpful to others to protect themselves.
Yeah, so coming from the words of the PayPal the PayPal support agent I talked to, he advised me to not use PayPal, which I thought was really interesting. But just be aware that PayPal will never fight in your case.
Well,
They will
why don't you start from the beginning and tell what happened?
All right, so I built a website for somebody. They paid me. I delivered the website, and they claimed that it was a unauthorized charge, and now they have the website, and I don't have the money. And PayPal just would not fight in my favor. They said they would. They didn't, and now I'm out. The time that I put into the website.
So they took the money back out of his account. So what
Yeah.
happens is this guy, and it's the same guy. His account has not been hacked. It's the same guy because after he did the chargeback, he changed the passwords on the website. I mean, it had to be, the guy had to know what he was doing. And so he, after he had Nick do the website, he put the money into contest saying it was an unauthorized charge on his account. Now, understand that for him to send the money to Nick, he had to click on yes, okay, please send 2 or 3 times. It wasn't an accident. I mean, this had to be done. How PayPal can say it was an unauthorized expenditure when you look at how many things you have to click to confirm the payment is ridiculous. Now, if the guy's account has been hacked, why is that Nick's fault?
But either way, this is a very common occurrence, and most of the time, for example, I watch a YouTuber that has this happen. These people will buy perks on his game server, tens of thousands of dollars worth of stuff, play for 8 months, and just charge it back. And PayPal says, "Yeah, that's fine." And now he's going to sue them and win because he's got obviously server logs to prove that this IP address was on this day, and this day, and paid for this, and this. I just don't understand how they're so blind to it. But if you search PayPal chargeback, what did you have me search? PayPal chargeback successful, something like that. You'll see a bunch of people just trashing on how bad PayPal is. So.
Now, Nick, do you think if you had email exchanges with the guy instead of Skype,
no,
that it would have helped?
They said they couldn't use email as part of proof.
What can they?
Nothing. I said I have emails. They said emails aren't good in a court of law.
Which is wrong.
He's like, it's easier to be forged. I'm like, yeah, you're right. It's easy to forge. What's easier to forge? A whole email conversation with headers, or this guy totally screwing me over?
And it's really disturbing how little recourse you have with PayPal. I mean, they'll just thumb their nose at you. There has to be something better.
It's a global norm. Everybody's
Nick,
using it.
Global problem.
Nick, did you look at that? I'm sorry, Steve. Go ahead.
Like I say, it's a global problem. It's not only PayPal, it's also eBay. You look at the amount of disputes there are between eBay sellers and buyers. If a buyer says it didn't arrive or it's not what it said it was, they'll always side with the customer. They will never side with
But at least
the
with
seller.
eBay, it's a product, and there is UPS shipping history or whatever else. With this, how can I prove that I built a website and uploaded it? I mean, I can't.
No, but it's the same company. eBay and PayPal, same
Yeah.
people. And the problem is they're not registered as a bank. They don't operate as a bank, so they don't have to follow banking rules and regulations.
Now, the only cases that I've seen people win these chargebacks is when the credit card. Now, if the person paid with a credit card, the credit card company could side with you and say, no, this was not a fraudulent charge, and then tell PayPal to give me the money. But in this case, I don't believe it was a credit card transaction.
Did you look at that C2 something?
I did. It still uses PayPal.
Or
This
credit
guy,
card.
The PayPal, well, that wouldn't count. Never mind. He had a verified business account, by the way.
Yeah, I do. And he had a verified account. I honestly maybe think that the guy might have been hacked. Maybe.
I'm finding it hard to believe that it was hacked and somebody used it to have Nick build a website for some...
Because what I don't understand is if the account was hacked, the guy didn't make any money. the guy that had me build it wouldn't have made any money.
Is the website still online?
Partially.
Oh,
I may or
partially,
may not
okay.
have put a backdoor in it because I knew the guy was going to screw me.
It may or may not be a solid black page if you go to it right now.
Yeah.
Okay, well, could you not send
Oh,
eBay
I'll
a
post in
copy
chat.
of what you've programmed and what you've what you've written
Steve,
and say, look, compare it?
They're not fighting for me. They said they would. Honestly, I really don't think they care at all.
PayPal has no seller protection at all.
No, it doesn't. And they're a law unto themselves as well, which is the annoying thing. Whatever they say and decide, that's what happens, and you've got no comeback. And you're even lucky if they reply to you in half the cases.
Well, I had to call them. They didn't reply to me. I submitted a thing online and they didn't respond. And
okay, but in their defense, PayPal can take 2 or 3 days to get to an issue.
I did. I responded on Thursday. I called last night.
Yeah, they
Days or
don't.
weeks.
They don't consider these matters urgent.
Well, I'm sorry it's happened, Nick. That really sucks.
You know what? And that's fine. It's not the end of the world. But my fear is now is, like I was talking to Amnon. How long ago did I build the Nissan Communications Roku app?
Over a year ago.
Amnon could charge me back right now and win.
Yeah, exactly.
Right now,
The thing
over
is-
a year ago, and I would have PayPal would side with him, and he would get his money back. I'm afraid now that this is going to keep happening to me, and it scares the hell out of
the
me.
problem.
No,
The thing is-
it's you normally don't deal with people who are that low.
I hope not.
So no, you don't. Most of the
All right.
people that you dealt with are people that know you and respect you for what you do and all that. So don't worry about that.
All right, there's something wrong with Steve's audio because he tries to talk and we clobber him. Steve, do you have a speaker on?
No,
Are you using headphones?
got headphones on, yes.
Something's not sounding right.
Uh-oh.
Ooh,
There we just lost Skype. Mike and Nick.
Hello?
yeah, no.
I've got your audio, but no video.
Okay, well, just restart it.
Does it have a line through the...
Yep.
Dang.
Yep.
Nick?
He was walking away
Oh.
as soon as when it went down. He'll be back in a minute. Did mine restart?
Yeah.
Okay.
Eiffel there is saying, what was it? Something about it's property theft, intellectual property, no?
Well, sure, and the guy's in Europe somewhere, so what's he going to do? Go over there and sue the guy?
I'm in
Oh.
Europe. I've got long legs, so I can walk quite a long way, and I'm big, so I can bump the guy one.
Yeah, but you guys have to use a baseball bat. You don't have anything that's really exciting to go after these guys.
I can make something. I've got a workshop.
Oh, okay. Very good. Well, Andrew's got some guys who can help too, but then it costs more to send them over than it does to just say to heck with it.
Larry, if you can't get, if it's just buffering, if you see the links underneath? Well, I don't even know that he can hear me actually. Somebody tell Larry about.
Brent said he should get at least half payment up front. Well, that's not really the problem because he could give half payment and then the balance of the payment, he can then contest it and get both of them back. There's going to have to be something better than PayPal because PayPal, I have a friend that has a lot of money sitting in a PayPal account. And if they froze those funds, it wouldn't break him, but it would be enough money that he would have to sue them. Because it's more than you could just walk away from. And I don't think they ought to have all that power. I mean, it works great for most people, but I see no PayPal seller protection at all. I probably sold, I'll bet I've sold $50,000 worth of merchandise through PayPal. And out of that, I've had one or two chargebacks, but I've been very lucky.
I'm wondering if, when you sell something on eBay, they charge the seller to list it, and then they charge you a certain amount for when you sell it. If they side with the buyer, I wonder if they give the seller back the fees for that, the listing and the percentage. I mean, I can see why they side with the buyer. It's because of arrogance. They know that people will still sell on theirs, but they don't want to piss buyers because the buyers are who's making them the money.
The answer, though, Amnon, is that they have to be willing to do what is right. And the assumption that the seller is always wrong is not right. They have to determine which is correct. When they see a guy here who Nick can provide these communications with him showing that this guy is the scammer, same email address and all that, they only have to look at one thing or two things to determine who is wrong here.
What, are we still talking about PayPal?
Yeah.
Nick, try it again.
Turn it off and back on?
Oh, there you are.
I've got him now.
I don't know. What credit? The problem is the same thing could happen with a credit card. So that's not safe either.
The difference is that a credit card will investigate.
They will,
Right.
and they might find it my favorite, but there's a friend that they might not.
But I think with credit card also it's a 60-day thing. Isn't it, Mike?
They, as I recall, you do have 60 days to contest the charge.
Right.
Now the question is how do I prove it to a credit card company? I mean, it's the same thing. I can say I delivered a service, but what evidence is there?
Well, just because they say we can't accept it, that doesn't mean you can't accept it. I mean, if let's say that you decided this was big, let's say it was $30,000, and you decided you were going to sue, then every bit of the evidence that you have, you absolutely would take to a court of law with you.
Yeah, so if somebody wants to do this in the United States, I could possibly sue them.
And for the amount of money, it still wouldn't be worthwhile.
Not for $300.
No, I mean it's just a pedagogical discussion at this point.
But you start going into the thousands, 2, 3, 4, 5,000. I mean, then it starts becoming more worth it.
Right. Well, at some point, though, for legitimate businesses, let's say a company hires you to do $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 worth of work. Make them send you a company check.
That's what I'm not. Well, for local work, I would like to. The problem is all my work is not local.
I still say
local meaning United States.
yeah.
No, I'm talking. I know, but just for the most part, I'm dealing with.
You tell them to
Not-
send a check, and you wait until the check clears. And besides, people that will send you a check will be a lot more
Reliable.
reliable and honest, because here they send you a piece of paper with their signature and all that. I mean, in PayPal, it's sort of like you're hiding behind a screen. And you can do a lot of damage and create a lot of problems for people when using PayPal. But with the check, it's
I want to get into doing more local work and less of the remote work.
I'd take whatever I could get and had some assurance of being able to keep the money. Most of the people are not going to screw you, particularly
right.
Yeah.
particularly for a website where they're going to require additional maintenance. But considering how long this site has been a black page,
I don't think they're actually going to try and use it.
yeah, I think the guy probably had an idea and wanted to use it somewhere along the way. He changed his mind, decided he didn't want to spend the money on it, or he.
No, this guy admitted to being a scammer.
Well,
I had a whole conversation with him about it.
and you still went ahead and did it.
No, that's
no.
after the
This
fact.
was after.
Oh,
I sent him a message yesterday and said, I'm interested in why you screw people over for fun. And he said, it's not for fun, it's for the money. And he said,
You need to send that to Skype, to Skype, to
PayPal.
PayPal.
no, they don't care.
I know.
I mean,
How long have you been doing this kind of work, Nick? How many people did
a
that
little
to you?
over a year.
How many people?
It's the first one. But
Exactly.
But now every time I do a website, I'm
No,
gonna be,
well, you need to be aware of it, and you need to do as much as
find
you
out
can.
who you're dealing with. If they won't tell you their name and their address and all that, don't deal with them.
Yeah, I've thought about maybe writing up like a contract thing for each one.
Won't do any good.
Yeah, but at least with a
Contracts.
contract, I have a signature and a name, right?
Maybe. You
Looks
still
good.
have to do your homework.
I agree, but
It's not my name. It's not my signature. I don't know where you got it from.
Dave Jackson, for example, has been following Podbean.com, trying to find out who Podbean.com is. He said that through a lot of research, he finally found a street address for them. Well, I did some research and found out that the address he posted is a virtual address. What that means is that in all likelihood, the guys, whoever they are, live in reasonable proximity to this building. They use it as a virtual office, which means their mail comes in, they go by and pick it up, or if they're out of state or out of town, it is forwarded to them by that company. Regis office buildings, for example, there are a lot of these virtual offices where you might have 4 hours per week use of the conference room for meetings. It usually means that people are operating out of their home. Bottom line is he still doesn't know where Podbean.com is located. If I found someone wanted to do business with me from a virtual address, I would be disinclined to do that unless they could provide some additional information that increased my confidence level.
So Mike, if you contact me tomorrow, say you want a website built, what do I ask you? I mean,
Well, you should definitely have what I would refer to, for lack of a better term, as an intake form. And the reason why, the real danger, you haven't even, I don't think yet, run into what the biggest problem is with designing websites for other people. And that is that you're dealing with taste. And that is, you can design a website that works perfectly. It does everything that you say it will do. But somebody doesn't like the color. They don't like the font. They don't like.
that's why I work closely with the people I develop with.
Right.
Every
But-
step of the way, they're in on the design process.
But you're dealing with taste, and taste is hard to grab in a contract. That's why you will see, all right, here are the expectations. I'm going to obtain all of the facts, the requirements, the wants, the desires, the needs in the website, and we'll define those. And then after the website goes live, there may be some aesthetic changes that you wish to make, and I will make a reasonable number of those changes, but I reserve the right to determine what's reasonable.
So that doesn't answer my question.
What's your question?
What do I do? Do I get your name on some? There's like those like virtual like contract places.
Oh, absolutely. There's some services out there where you can send them a contract and they sign it electronically, and they can pay you through the service. That might be worth doing.
Are they free or do you have to pay for them?
No, it's not free, but it's not very expensive, as I recall.
Do you know the name of any of these
No,
services?
I have to find it. A lot of lawyers are a lot of work from home lawyers are using them.
Virtual. I need like a virtual contract.
Well, if you
I've
want
used
my,
one before.
my viewpoint, Nick,
sorry,
it
what,
sounds
Steve?
from.
Say it
Go on.
again, Steve.
I said, if you want my viewpoint, Nick, it sounds very much like you've accepted the fact that you've been done and you've been scammed, which is a good thing because you can now move on.
Oh, I honestly,
think-
there's nothing I can do, so I really don't care. I mean,
Yeah,
sitting here.
okay, but you obviously want to stop it from happening again in the
Right.
future.
You want to
And
learn
I think you're
from
right
it.
in the way of saying to ask them to sign and then fax back or scan and send back via email a contract, because although it may not be worth anything, the fact is that if they're prepared to sign a contract that says you'll do this, you'll do that, they'll do this, they'll do that, then at least you're probably over 50% sure that they're going to be okay, because no one's
Yeah,
going
they're
to sign a
less
contract if
likely
they're going to
to-
scam you from the outset.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody's going to go through the trouble of signing a contract, then they're probably less likely to scam me.
Right.
Yeah, and if they're all upfront and prepared to do that, then they probably aren't a scammer, and you're going to be okay. But the important thing is don't let it put you off. But you do need something in place to give yourself peace of mind, and also
Yeah.
for them to see, well, this guy's not messing about, so we won't be to scam him. Let's drop him straight away and move on, and then you won't be affected again.
Yeah. I mean, you walk into any store, I mean, mom and pop store, and you probably see bad checks posted on the wall. Bad checks that they get. And did I get bad checks in my years in business? Yeah.
Yeah, but you put somebody in jail for a bad check.
You can, if you go after them. But I
You
mean,
cannot put them in jail for owing you money, but you can put them in jail for
For-
writing you a bad check.
Yeah.
One of the times that I did a site for somebody, they had me sign a contract. I'm trying to find the email. Could see what service they used.
Steve, what is Square?
Square is a credit card processing.
But how would that
service.
be any better?
Well, because
I'm
he'd
not
be able to put it through his cell phone, and they've got a much better resolution service than PayPal have. PayPal make the decision, and that's it. If they decide no, or they decide no, we're going with the customer, as they always do. At least with the credit card, you've got some, together with a. I'm just thinking of something else except apart from PayPal. If you're using
Yeah.
Square, you're paying roughly about the same sort of fees. You could also, if you're planning on doing things with more local people, you can actually take payments with your smartphone. And if you are going to be using contracts as a way of sort of trying to weed out any spammers, then you're avoiding PayPal, and you're getting to the point where you're becoming self-sufficient away from PayPal.
Yeah, I think I have a Square account. I don't think I can have one legally, but I'm pretty sure I do.
Good.
I
Use that
just
then.
have to request for the reader. But if for local work, I do plan on getting something like that. The problem is I just haven't done any local jobs yet.
Obviously, for local work, you'll be able to do it cash, which is,
Yeah.
the IRS are going to be really happy about. Cough, cough, splutter, splutter.
Well, I mean, you can get creative about it, because, I mean, you could say to people, if you're concerned about them, is that, let's say that you're going to do a website for them for $300, and they say to you, what's the price? Well, based on some bad experiences I've had with PayPal, if you want to pay by PayPal, it's $350. If you're willing to send by Western Union or some other source, it's $300. Because if you go to send me a Western Union, you've got to go down to your local store, and they're going to be probably a $10, $15 fee. But if you want to save $35, $40, if you're willing to send me a Western Union instead of a PayPal, then you can save some money. I'll take your PayPal, but the price is $350.
Okay, so I found this service. It's called Docracy, D-O-C-R-A-C-Y, Docracy.
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 But
It's for Lord.
there are several of them out there, though. That's just one of them.
Let's see. Try it free. How much does it cost?
Check your private chat, Amnon.
I am. I'm looking at the
Okay.
thing. I don't see it anywhere.
Okay.
I'm looking at Skype now to see if Skype is.
And Jeff is saying, look at FreshBooks. I use FreshBooks for one of my little businesses, but I don't use the billing part of it. But even FreshBooks, Jeff, as I recall, involves using a credit card. And anytime you go through a credit card processor, you're still going to have this extremely pro-customer chargeback policy. Very few services out there are providing any protect. By the way, don't misunderstand this conversation. If you've got a bad seller, bad dealer, they ought to burn. I'm not pro. I mean, we all have gotten burned by bad sellers, and I think there needs to be a serious recourse against any bad sellers. But whenever the services you're using and paying don't even bother to check the validity of the claim, then that's a problem.
So this Docracy or whatever, however it's pronounced, site, Docracy, it's free, and people already have templates built, and you like, for example, I just searched web design, and some Zora person has created a web design contract, and there's a button that just says customize and send for signing. So I can make all of my changes. And
Eric says that a company, DocuSign, is what his real estate company is using. So I mean, there are a ton of these guys out there.
I'm gonna like what? Let's see. Let me see. I'm gonna send you a thing to sign this.
I'm not giving you any money.
I don't want you to give me any money. I want to see if it charges me once you click on the link.
Be sure to send me your PayPal password.
Oh, sure. Okay, you can just charge it back anyway. I've just sent you one.
Okay.
Let's see.
Not sure which email address you used.
I used your PO one.
Okay.
I think it appears to be free because I didn't pay for anything. I just signed in.
Mike,
What?
can we talk technical about the mixer for a second?
Sure. It's your show.
The 4 channels, the Skype and TalkShoe, and all the 3 Skypes and TalkShoe have Oxent 1, 2, 3, and 4 on each one. It's one for this one is 1, 2, 3, 4 are all the way down per channel. So all 4 Oxent 1 through 4 are turned down on one. Oxent 1 is turned all the way down on 2K Voice. Oxent 2 is turned down on 2K Now. Oxent 3 is turned all the way down on Guest, and Oxent 4 is turned all the way down on TalkShoe.
Okay.
The rest of the Oxents are at 9 o'clock.
Okay, that's good.
Except that, and I think you did this last time, and I don't know if you will remember, but 2K Voice and the phone, Oxent 4 is also turned all the way down.
Well, all that means I don't know where you're sending aux for. I don't recall.
Aux 4 is for TalkShoe. I guess it's whichever one is turned off that's where I'm sending it, or not sending it, right?
Not sending it, correct. So the fact that it's turned off may be irrelevant since you're not using it.
Okay. Well, other than that, I don't see anything else. Steve?
Yep. Yes.
Talk a little bit.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Do you hear what I'm talking about, Amnon?
No, I don't. That's the problem.
Okay. And so maybe it's here. That's why I don't want to make too big of a deal out of it. But Steve has a very hollow sound in his microphone. It's exactly the same kind of sound that you would get if he had his local speakers turned on and his microphone were actually being amplified through his local speakers.
Let me turn my earphone volume right down and see if it's still there then. Would that work? No?
Nope, still there. Take
No,
your
I
headphones
haven't- I
out
haven't-
and make sure your speakers are not on.
Right, well, unplug my headphones completely. Hang on. Okay, headphones are unplugged completely now. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Nope. You can't hear us now, can you?
Well, I did because I plugged you back in again.
All right, but if you take your headphones out and move them away, you do not have your speakers turned up with your microphone coming through it, right?
I've got no speakers on this one.
Well, then I don't know what it is. Could be just a Skype thing. Amnon, also go to Tools, Options, Audio Settings on computers 2K Voice.
I did.
And make sure when Steve talks that the microphone volume does not jump. Count to 3, Steve.
1, 2, 3.
It's not moving.
Okay. It must just be a Skype thing. Carry on.
All right.
Thanks,
Nick-
Microsoft.
Nick, do you hear Steve? Oh, Nick is not there.
He's not there at the moment.
Anyway. All right. Let's see what we have here. Google has begun blocking local Chrome extensions to protect Windows users. This means that as of today, it was last week, extensions can be installed in Chrome for Windows only if they're hosted on the Chrome Web Store. Furthermore, Google says extensions that were previously installed may be automatically disabled and cannot be re-enabled or reinstalled until they are hosted in the Chrome Web Store. The company didn't specify what exactly qualifies the may clause, though we expect it may make exceptions for certain popular extensions for a limited time. Google is asking developers to reach out to it if they run into problems or if they think an extension was disabled incorrectly. Sort of like the thing that I guess Apple did in the early days for apps in the iTunes store, right? You couldn't install any apps unless they were on the iTunes stores, if I remember correctly. So they're doing the same thing. Unless it's in the Chrome Web Store, you're not going to be able to install any extensions. Which is, it's fine. I mean, I don't. Nick, do they charge you to list something in the Web Store, Chrome?
For Chrome?
Yeah.
I have no. I assume not, but I have no clue.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
No, they don't charge for Android, so I doubt that they charge for.
Yeah.
So Mike and I have just signed this document,
Yeah.
and it didn't ask me to. The one thing Mike, are you still on that page?
Yep.
If you scroll down to the bottom on the right, do you see delete this signing? Maybe that's only me because I made it. Okay, so
No, I've got. Here's what I have. I have remove your signature. I can unsign it because you haven't signed it yet.
Yes, I had to do a refresh. I've signed it.
Well, I'm going to see what happens if I hit remove your signature. It should not allow me to do it at this point.
Okay, try it.
Now, see, it says, "Are you sure you want to remove your signature?" If
Yeah,
I
click yes. See if
signature.
it does.
And it says signature removed. You've signed it. I have not signed it.
Now, the interesting thing here is I can see that you did sign it. It still
Right.
shows me that Mike Phillips' signature was later removed. So if you tried doing that after, I mean, you still signed it.
Well, look, I'm sure there is a way. Once you get the signed contract, you can lock it. There's no doubt in my mind there's a way to lock it.
I can download a version, I guess.
All right, so what I have here at the top now is a link that says download executed document. Let's see
That's
if it
what I
has
have.
both signatures on it. And I've clicked on that, and I am sitting here.
No, it only has mine.
Well, let's see what mine has. Website contract. Is this a PDF? I guess it is.
Just scroll all the way down to the bottom.
I'm trying. It's slow to load.
It could be, don't forget that you have a certain length of time to change your mind on the signature that you may.
Oh yeah, you're right.
You'll have to look
But
at the FAQs on that.
But this is a this is a free service. So if anybody wants to try it, it's docracy.com. I made an account. I already had an account. It was free, and there's a bunch of templates. So like if I search like computer support, there's just a bunch of different things in here about.
Now, this is bizarre. Now that I've canceled it, how can I change my mind and sign it again?
You might not be able to. You probably get one go with it. And
I
if
said
you-
document has been signed. No changes are allowed to members of this signing.
So they allow you to remove it, but
Well,
they
you just
don't.
need to. When you start using tools, you need to understand how these things work, so that
Yeah.
if you get into a
That's why I asked him to remove it.
show full time. I mean, this is very neat. I don't know how reliable it is, but it's very neat.
On the front page, it says something about lawyers, so I'm not sure. What is that thing that stuff has to be for lawyers? Well, isn't there like a compliant that it has to reach?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, here you go. There's a thing at the bottom for lawyers. I guess it's a different version, but I mean, it seems pretty. For the stuff I'm dealing with, where 90% of the people or 95% of the people are trying to scam me, something like this should be fine.
Well, the important thing to do when you do get your signature, just do a screenshot of it or save it immediately.
Yeah,
and
you can
I
do
don't
a
know what
download.
format. If you've got a download, I don't know what downloads format it is in, but irrespective, do a screenshot so you've got a picture of both signatures just in case it is reversed.
I just did a Google search for the name of the company in a court of law, and I want to see here what, if anybody's had any experience in trying to bring somebody to court with this.
You're not planning on it, are you?
No, but it's interesting because if somebody says that this didn't work, if this didn't hold up in a court, then there's no point in me using it.
Oh yeah, the courts don't say what you can and can't use on that.
Well, no, but if somebody's had experience and brought this to court and the court for whatever reason dismissed it, then that would be. But there's a lot of people that say they use it and like it, so yeah, I guess on the next contract we'll give it a try.
But I'm certainly an advocate of using a contract because many times you're dealing with people who may have never had a website designed before, and they really don't know what the expectation is.
Yeah.
And anyone who's unwilling to sign a contract, boom, run.
Yep. I'm trying to see if I can save this so I can make customization to it.
I'm sure you can upload your own contract.
Oh, you can, but there's these ones that are already created that are.
I'm sure you could, because I think that this service allows you to negotiate the contract. It says
It does,
in here-
because I remember doing that with the client that had me do it. I had to sign in and say what I was going to offer, and we had a bunch of revisions until because he was a lawyer. I built the site for him, and we went back and forth, and it turned out fine. He just wanted to make sure. I mean, I was like, you realize the contract's not valid, but
all right, this contract, this example contract that you sent me, is totally invalid. This is a joke contract.
okay. Why is this a joke contract?
Legal part. We cannot be held liable if there is any lost profit or special damages that your company might experience as a result of our work. If you wish to pursue this matter legally, we cannot be held liable for costs and expenses, including attorney's fees that you incur when following this route.
Okay.
Who would ever assign a contract that says that I pay you and you have no liability? Give me a break. Here's the other part that makes the contract illegal. The interest for late payment will be 10% of the amount owed, added every 10 days. That's illegal. You cannot exceed the maximum rate allowed by law, which in most states is 18% per year.
So I need to find a contract that's actually.
A legitimate contract.
I'm gonna send you a few and tell me which one.
Oh, okay.
What?
Let me get my billing clock.
Billing clock. I'm just telling you to look at it.
Yeah, you just
That's
want me to
what
look at-
attorneys do.
All right, Mike. All right, Mike. You know what? I'll pay on PayPal. I'll just charge you back so you never give
All
me
right,
any.
there you go. Okay.
Amnon, you can
I'm
switch the
writing it
camera.
off then.
Amnon, you can switch the camera.
I can.
Yeah, you can. Or am I gonna have to start doing what Mike does?
We've got to come up with a device that we can push a button and it sticks a pin in Amnon's toe to get his attention and wake him up.
Well, no, Nick was handling. Nick was talking, so I hit it on him. Excuse me, I just leave it here.
You know what I've noticed?
Fine.
Aaron, every time that I've been on the show, I have never seen you put yourself full screen when you talk.
I don't have a shot
Oh.
with the lower. I mean, the only one.
Oh.
The only one I have is this one right here, and I did have it the other time, but I don't have one. I don't have enough modules to have a shot with the lower third on it.
Likely story.
Yeah.
You have to pay. You have to pay by the module.
A what? Yeah, I have to pay. Who? Who? What'd you say? I have to pay.
By the module.
Oh. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Where you listen, Nick, where you really have to be careful
Yeah.
is if you actually purchase a theme for someone and then they charge it back to you.
The themes are through Theme Forest.
Right, but if you pay Theme Forest and deliver it to him, and they charge back, the customer charges back. Now you've lost the money to Theme Forest plus your time.
Yeah, but at least I can reuse the theme.
Well, depending on which version you buy.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the theme is they're good for. They say they're good for one final product website or something like that.
Yeah,
But I don't know if you can see the other one I sent you, but this is the one that the lawyer, I guess, wrote up and sent to me.
I got a PDF version so far of the one that you and I did.
Okay.
I haven't gotten it yet.
Oh, I sent you a link in Skype.
Well, you know what? This is interesting
Why?
because I got emailed a PDF version of the contract we did.
With your
and
signature?
Both signatures are on it.
Because you signed it, they sent the email, then you removed your signature.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure if you
So-
downloaded it again, it would have.
Well, so then what is the benefit of being able to remove your signature if you've already...
So this is what I did. He sent me the This is the first time I'd used this service, and I didn't know about having to add what I would do. So I signed it, and he said, "No, remove your signature and type here what you're going to give me the website and stuff like that." So I had to remove my signature, type out what I was delivering, a website with a live page and chat and all that stuff. Then I had to re-sign it.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
So-
I understand all that.
Yeah. So there were 3 versions of this contract. But this one, actually, I might just end up using this one because this one looks. This guy's a lawyer, and it looks like he wrote it.
Well, most lawyers don't write their contract.
Or it was written by somebody else that. I don't know. Looks good though.
If which one is this? The second one?
This is the second one with Kelly.
Now I got to log in. Hang on a thing.
No, you probably can't see this one.
Okay.
I'll download it and send
Did
you
he
the
use
PDF.
Docracy to do your deal?
He did. That's how I found out about it.
I got you. I thought
I'll-
you did the search for it.
I'll send it to you later or whatever. Because I don't. You probably have to sign in to see it. But there's even a QR code next. I want to scan the QR code and see what it does.
Website services agreement, and it says together schedules are made as of this day and by and
Oh, you can see it.
Whereas, oh, that's so old fashioned. Okay,
Cool.
let's see what you agreed to. Confidentiality, use of term and termination, vendor representations, and warranties. Ooh. Company
And
representation.
whence came the dragon?
Let's see. So you, as the vendor, agreed to 8 reps and warranties, and he, as the company, agreed to 2.
I don't know what that means.
It means that it's a one-sided contract. Vendor agrees to defend, indemnify, and hold harmless company and its officers, directors, employees, successors, and assigns from any and against any and all liabilities, losses, damages, claims, demands, costs, judgments, and expenses, including reasonable attorney's fees arising out of or relating to any breach or alleged breach of any of its representations and warranties, covenants, or agreements contained in this agreement, or the actions of its subcontractors, except for those claims that arise solely from company's gross negligence or willful misconduct. Now, see, you and I, if I've been negotiating that, would not say vendor, it would say each party agrees to defend, In other words, he has the same liability for loss that you do.
Is that good or bad?
Well, in your case, it's unenforceable. But if you were 18 years old and signing it, it could be bad if the guy turns out to be a bad actor. If he's a good actor, he's not going to try to use anything against you.
He's been a happy customer since January.
Right.
I maintain his monthly. I maintain his site monthly. So
You meaning that the point being that you could have done business with this guy without even doing a contract, and
Yeah.
the business relationship would have gone well.
the only reason he had me do a contract is because he's in the legal field, and that's, I guess, just a norm. He wanted to protect himself.
No,
not
I
that,
think it's a good idea. I mean, I think it's a good idea to have a contract. Now,
Just do it, Nick.
I
mean,
will just do it.
the question here is, since you can't understand what you signed, how good or bad is it?
I don't know. But I did what I could do to get the job, and if that involves signing the contract, that's what I did.
Customize. Yeah.
Surprise. A group of researchers publishing in the Journal of American Osteopathic Association found that 90% of the Wikipedia articles they sampled contain errors regarding common medical conditions.
No.
Unsurprisingly, they recommend your general practitioner as more reliable source, while noting that 47% to 70% of physicians and medical students admitting to using Wikipedia as a reference. At issue is the study in the study is a small sample size of researchers used 10 medical conditions. There are also ongoing efforts to improve the quality of Wikipedia articles, according to a Wikipedia spokesman, especially in relation to health and medicine. The BBC has more approachable coverage. What does that have to do with BBC, Steve?
I do not have the faintest idea, I'm sorry.
Wikipedia is not true, is not reliable?
No, you're kidding.
Oh.
Wow. My whole world's going to end now.
Yeah.
There were some court cases where Wikipedia was cited as a source, and boy, even the Patent and Trademark Office and the attorneys went livid, because you can the day before court go in and edit it and make it say anything you want
Sure.
it to say.
Absolutely.
One guy told an examiner, "Don't you dare cite Wikipedia to me."
Wikipedia.
You know who hates Wikipedia? Schools.
Why?
They don't use it for anything.
They shouldn't.
It's not authoritative.
Man, I know it's not authoritative.
I will tell you, though, that in helping my daughter in law school, and when she'll say, "What is such and such or so and so," I bring up Wikipedia. In almost every instance I've seen, it was accurate.
Oh, of course. I mean, for the most part, it's accurate. I mean, obviously, it doesn't stand in some things, but for general information, you're fine.
But what was the real problem that I saw with Wikipedia with the law is that a lot of the pages are written by people in other parts of the world. So you start reading about a cause of action, and then you find out it's talking about the UK, where they're really weird over there about those things. And you have to differentiate between UK or Swedish or some other law versus US law. And that's trickier than you think it is.
Those of you that watch sci-fi, do you know how when the captain is opening communication to a ship that he'd never seen before, and he starts talking in English and it works? Know how that works?
No.
Sorry. There is a universal translator. It was on one of the shows they were talking about it. Well, last week at the first annual Code Conference, Microsoft demonstrated its new real-time translation in Skype publicly for the first time. Gurdeep Paul, Microsoft VP of Skype and Link, compares the technology to Star Trek's Universal Translator. During the demonstration, he converses in English with a coworker in Germany who is speaking German. Skype Translator results from decades of work by the industry, years of work by our researchers, and now is being developed jointly by the Skype and Microsoft Translator teams. The demo showed near real-time audio translation from English to German and vice versa, combining Skype voice and IM technology with Microsoft Translator and neural network-based speech recognition. So you can start talking with somebody in English and they're somewhere else in the world and they speak their own language, and you can actually converse back and forth.
It's not audio.
What do you mean it's not audio?
Read the line again about what it uses. I saw this story.
The demo showed near real-time audio translation from English to German and vice versa, combining Skype voice and IM technology with
That's what it
Microsoft
does.
Translator.
You say it in the language and it converts it to text. It's not talking back and forth audio. The audio is one way.
What is demo showed near real-time audio translation?
Near real-time typing. Like it.
No.
types out
Real.
And then I did research on it. Trust me. I'm telling you, it doesn't translate the actual audio. It types it out in a Skype IM message. It's like Google Translator, except
That's all it is.
It's real time,
Really?
so you can actually have a conversation.
So when they say near real-time audio translation is not. I mean, ignore that part.
well, from I'm sorry, say that again.
It says the
broke up.
demo showed near real-time audio translation.
Yes, it can do near real-time translation, but it does text. It does text as well. It does IM.
Oh no,
and-
I understand that it does text also, but I mean, are you saying that you are not? Huh?
Oh no, I thought you meant it was just only audio.
No. I understand that it does
Oh, okay.
text also, but I mean, I thought that you will hear a
You can-
synthesized
you can-
voice
you can-
in English.
You can, but it also does
Okay.
like Google
Yeah.
Translate voice to text
For the IM, yeah.
for the IM. Yeah, does both.
That's
So-
but that's very interesting. I mean, you can start conducting business. I don't know about just casual conversation, but business. People don't need to speak a certain language. You can converse back and forth in anything, even Cleon.
Yeah, I guess I was misleading with what I said. Because everybody thinks I don't mean speech. It does do speech to speech, but it also converts it to text.
When it starts to translate Romulan, let me know.
Okay.
Or
What,
Valley
you going to
speak.
run out of town?
Yep, I'm going to go over and actually use it and try and talk to some Romulans.
What would you say, Mike?
Or Valley speak.
Yeah, that's even better. So now we all heard about UEFI, right?
Yeah.
And when we talked to Mark Kasinovich, did he mention that will prevent rootkits?
No.
But that was the assumption of a lot of people, that UEFI doesn't have, and it protects you. Well, the secure boot security mechanism of the UEFI can be bypassed on around half of computers that have the feature enabled in order to install rootkits, according to a security researcher. At the Hack in Hack in the Box 2014 security conference, Corey Kellenberg, a security researcher from nonprofit research organization Mitre, also showed Thursday that it's possible to render some systems unusable by modifying a specific UEFI variable directly from the OS, an issue that could easily be exploited in cyber sabotage attacks. So UEFI, and I hate that thing, can be circumvented.
So one of the reasons for bringing it in and for introducing it and putting it on all the new computers is because it will stop rootkits, or one of the, potentially avoid rootkits.
Yeah.
Is a complete waste of space.
Yep. Yes, sir.
So all that stress, anguish, and aggravation for absolutely nothing, apart from having a nice GUI. You can move the mouse on it now instead of having to type in whatever and move up and down with arrows. Thanks, Microsoft.
Get a Mac.
How many people bought a curved TV?
I know of no one.
But you saw,
round room.
but you saw them, right?
Yes.
I don't know if I did.
I did. I don't know anybody that has one, but
Currently, the hottest trend from TV manufacturers is to offer curved panels. But analysts say it's nothing more than a ploy to pander to consumers who want the latest, coolest looking tech in their home. In the end, the TVs don't offer better picture quality. In fact, they offer a degraded view to anyone sitting off center. Samsung and LG claim that the Curve provides a cinema-like experience by offering a more balanced and uniform view. So what the edges of the set don't appear further away than the middle. Paul Gray, director of European TV research for Display Search, said those claims are nothing by pseudoscience. Curved screen are a gimmick, much along the same lines as 3D TVs are. Gartner, principal analyst for Consumer Electronic Research, said. So, I don't know. I
Who
mean,
cares?
3D TVs, you can still see sort of like 3D. But I've never looked at a curved panel to see if it makes a difference.
it's an opinion thing.
Yeah, it is an opinion, absolutely. But I mean, when it's somebody like that,
He also said 3D is a gimmick. How is 3D a gimmick?
right? That's what I'm saying. With 3D, we've seen it, and it's, yeah, you have to wear those glasses and stuff, and you can see 3D.
Yeah, like Dan said it.
Yeah,
I mean, I saw it on demo in a big box store, and it
yeah.
looked like a curved TV. I mean, I wouldn't call it a gimmick.
I don't know. He means don't spend money on that.
Oh well, yeah. There's a lot of things that are gimmicks. Look at a Mac.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen all the ads that are coming in, showing up in Facebook? Apparently, when one of your friends likes something, they throw an ad on your timeline.
Depends if the company pays for it. Yes.
I'm not liking this.
An ad?
I've killed 3 today.
Well, it's not really an ad, but like Amnon, if you like Samsung and Samsung pays Facebook, that means when you like Samsung, it's going to post to Mike, who may not like Samsung, hey, your friend Amnon Nissan just like Samsung. You should go like them too.
Ah,
It's an ad, but it's. I mean, it's an ad, but it's not.
it's like a
totally-
solicitation for a like or for a
Yeah, I
to go and
guess.
watch an ad.
Yeah,
Because if you go there, you're going to see an ad.
correct.
Very interesting.
But it's based off of one
Yeah.
of your friends liking it.
If it came with a coupon for $150, I would go.
Yeah. Don't hold your breath until then, Steve.
No, well, definitely not.
Okay, so anybody that wants to get a tablet and been waiting, Ars Technica reports that HP is back in the $100 tablet market. And this time with a tablet that's intended to be priced there instead of just a fire sale. The new offering lacks Bluetooth and GPS, among other features you might wish for in a tablet. And the screen is surrounded by a hefty bezel, but manages a pretty good list of features. For $100, you can expect much of the spec sheet. The HP 7 Plus has a 7-inch, 1024 by 600 display, a 1 gigahertz quad-core Cortex A7 processor, and it's made by a company called Allwinner. 1 gigabyte of RAM, 8 gigabyte of storage, 802.11, BGNN, a micro SD slot, and a 2800 milliamp hour battery. The biggest
this?
downside, what?
Who makes this?
HP.
Oh, okay.
The biggest downside HP could have fixed at this price point is the software. It's only running Android 4.2.2. Android versions are free. Oh, he's saying Android versions are free, HP.
That's the problem with Android.
Well, having an available micro SD slot beats some more expensive options too. So for $100, a
Sure,
tablet.
it's just as good as the what are the other HP tablets that they used to have? What were those called?
I don't know, but they did away with it, didn't they?
Yeah, because it was a piece of junk, and I'm sure
Yeah.
this will be the same.
Yep.
I mean, $100 tablet, you're not getting anything great.
Well-
The Samsung Galaxy Tab is only like $200. The iPad is, I think, only the iPad Mini starts at like $300, I think, something like that.
Yeah, but $100 to buy a tablet for $100, if something happens or you break it or you lose it, okay. $300, $400, you're beginning to.
Oh yeah.
Ubergeek says playbooks are off the market. Those of us that still use XP and refuse to jump quickly to Windows 7.
Don't say it.
Quickly.
Wait, quickly. Come on, Amnon. You have no intentions of ever updating.
I'm
to
not.
Windows 7.
I'm saying that's why I said I didn't. I reverted and I say instead of those of you, I said those of us.
Yeah, but
He's
you
going
said
back
that,
to Windows.
I'm including
98.
myself in that group.
yeah, but you said they don't want to upgrade quickly. You don't want to upgrade at all.
No, I do want to upgrade, and I said it many times. If
Yeah.
if there was an upgrade a path, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Oh,
But in order to reformat and reinstall and all
It
that,
takes-
that takes time and
it takes a day. It takes
yeah,
one day.
yeah.
Nick,
Yes.
XP
So-
is going to eat itself on a computer. I mean, hard drives are going to die. Things are going to happen, and at some point, it will be more time efficient to install it with Windows 7 on a new computer than it will be to bring XP back alive. I've had that happen 3 times on one of my computers, and the point is that for the average person, any one of those 3 would have been enough to force them to a new operating system.
Yeah, you see, I didn't have that yet. Knock on wood.
Yeah, you will.
So far, everything is working nice. So anyway,
On the subject of XP,
yeah.
I've got Windows 7 on my Media Center PC, but unfortunately, the capture card on it has got no drivers for Windows 7. And I wanted to capture something from an old VHS cassette. Remember those?
Did
Video
you
recorders?
did you put Windows 7 64?
No, because it's only a 32-bit machine.
Then your XP driver should work.
Ooh, well, I can't install it anyway because I haven't got the original install discs.
mean-
It came pre-bundled with it.
Yeah, on the machine here that I do the switching on, I used a very old capture card that is great, and it does not go above XP, and it does not have a 64-bit.
Right.
And-
It's
and-
only got an XP restore disc. It didn't come with an original XP disc and all the tools and drivers and everything else that was on it. But I did have still the XP hard disk drive. Remember those hard disk drives? Still inside the machine. It hadn't been powered up for ages, probably since about 2009.
And
So I thought, well, I know it's on there and I know I can capture it using that. Let's see if it works. So I just put the power lead into it, told it to boot from that one instead, and away it went. And admittedly, it was quite slow and sluggish, but it got there, and I captured a 40-minute video using the software still on XP.
nice.
And I just sat there on the couch with my mouth wide open, going, I don't believe this. So I've just unplugged it again, and I'll use it for that. But it runs Windows 7 fine, albeit very slowly and sluggishly. You give it anything to do and it just goes, help me, I can't cope. But it
Well-
worked.
The thing in this article is there is a registry workaround which tricks Windows Update to thinking you are running Windows Embedded POS Ready 2009. Allows you to get free security updates until 2019 if Microsoft doesn't change it next week. All you need is a simple 32-bit or 64-bit registry entry in order to make this work. POS Ready 2009 is slated to receive security updates for another 5 years. The consensus is that Microsoft realized this and sees it out there. They're going to do something that it will not update an XP machine. I saw that they're again. We don't recommend you do it because it's probably not gonna last. And if it lasts, maybe in 3-4 months, and you said, okay, yeah, everybody's using it, that okay. But we think that Microsoft is going to do something that it will recognize it. No, this is XP. That's masquerading.
It'd be funny if they put a kill switch in it and it would just destroy your copy of it.
They're not going to put a kill switch. They're not going to do that. They never did it on any other operating system. 98, 2000, it still works. So there's not going to be any kill switch.
No, I mean inside of the if you do that registry hack,
Oh yeah, that
it'll just invalidate your copy of XP
yeah,
and make you
that
upgrade.
may. So backups are important.
On
Absolutely.
a different subject.
Yes.
I'm a member of a listserv of 4,000 other lawyers. This list gets 150 posts a day.
Yeah.
That could mean that there might be 10, 12, 15 posts over the day on a single topic. There's an attorney here in Austin, Texas, that's probably telling, that she refuses to quote the post that she's responding to.
Kicker.
Well, I sent her a private email and I asked her, would you consider adding the ability to quote? Because whenever you post, and that was a specific post I was interested in, I said, I have no idea to whom you are responding. And she says, no, it makes the post too long, so I've chosen not to do that.
Get her kicked off the group.
Well, I
No,
wouldn't get her
no.
kicked off the group, but I'm going to block her. But I mean, is that me being unreasonable to try to
Yes,
understand?
yes, it is being unreasonable. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why.
Because you got this exact reaction. Nick agrees with me, Amnon doesn't. So
I
go
don't.
ahead.
I'll tell you because I try to educate people all the time. If you
that.
if you just answer or reply to a post and you don't include anything, you just put yes or ditto, there are people who are not going to know what you're talking about. And I try to tell people, do not include the whole original message, which probably also have some replies in it in your post. Reduce the body of the message just to important stuff that you are replying to. So if you are replying to a question, just delete everything, include the question, a couple of lines of the question, and then say ditto.
Right.
And
You're agreeing with what we just said, Amnon, and your solution has nothing to do with what we just said.
But no. She said, what did she say? She's refusing to
she's refusing to quote anything.
because
it makes responses too long.
Absolutely, and she's right. The worst thing you can do.
But Amnon, she's not willing to put any time to it.
Doesn't sound to me like anybody actually. Mike, what did you ask her if she would be willing to
consider including the post to which she is responding?
Okay, that is the wrong question.
All right, but
the question is what?
Hang on.
Yeah.
I just opened up one of her responses.
Yeah.
The first sentence.
Yeah.
I second what Sasha said.
What did Sasha say?
I know that
I don't
doesn't
have a
make
clue.
sense. That doesn't make sense because you don't know what Sasha said. I understand. I agree with you 100%. But instead of asking her if she'd be willing to include the post that was there originally, you explain to them, and I take the time and tell people, it's going to make, if you include everything, and people, unfortunately, a lot of people do that. They include everything, and it may be 3 feet long, and they say ditto. No, you say, how about just including a line or two of the original quote so we know what she's talking about?
She's not interested in doing anything.
I agree with you, Amnon. I agree that would make sense because I wrote, particularly in Usenet, which I still use, there are guys who will 6 pages of responses, and they'll put down at the bottom, I think this is a great idea.
Right. I know.
That's nonsense. They're lazy.
Try and tell the lady.
Already did.
That just to include a couple of lines, remove the bulk of it, just put a couple of lines so we'll know what you are referring to. And I'll bet you she'll do it.
We're not going to find out because I'm not going to ask her. I am copying her email address and I am clicking on filter messages like these.
I'm with her on not quoting a whole.
I didn't say the whole thing.
You did not say part of it, so no. You did say the whole thing in not so many words, and she answered. It will make the reply too long.
Yeah, no, she's not willing to work. Come on.
All right. Okay. I mean,
she responds. It makes it too long. Well, then just then edit it. I mean, Jesus, stop being so lazy. She deserves to get kicked out of the group because she's not helping the group at all.
Well,
she's
not my group.
Well, my view on it is if she's got the gumption to write something like I agree with what Sasha said, then she should at least quote what Sasha said.
Right.
Exactly. Just one thing. But she's not. She's clearly not willing to.
Maybe she doesn't know that she can.
Never mind.
Maybe she doesn't know that she can edit it and remove parts of it. Educate them. Educate them.
No, Mike, I'm not. Control C, Control V. Come on.
No. That you are a techie.
Who cares if you're a techie?
A lot of people don't know it, and let me tell you something. A lot of those people that include everything, it's because they don't know that they can do it.
But
because
she doesn't include anything.
I would call people, lists that I run, I would call the user, because they're all locally, and I would explain. I said, you mean I can actually remove that stuff? I said, just go in there as though you wrote the whole thing, mark the lines you don't want to, and just leave the ones you want to. He said, I don't understand. I said, just go ahead and mark lines, highlight the lines that don't belong in there. And after 5 minutes or 10 minutes, I feel good because the guy said, wow, I never knew that. Education. That's all.
But you have to have willing students.
Exactly. I know.
That person does not seem like a willing student.
Well, it's irrelevant now because she's blocked.
Good.
Well,
If she knows that the problem, she knows that doing the whole thing is a problem. So then she should know, and probably does know, that you can only quote one thing. She just is lazy and doesn't want to.
okay.
Steve, you said, is this in a type of forum situation? It's in a legal email list.
Right, okay. I know when I used to run the forum that it had a button on there, quote.
Mm-hmm.
And then people would quote a quote, and you'd end up with, like, sometimes in some cases, 18 quotes, all within quoting each other. And that used to really drive me nuts, because what's the point in quoting what everyone else has already pre-quoted for the answer? You know, you've got 18 answers and everyone's quoted what everyone previous to them has said. Well, you know, just quote the original person, unless you're agreeing with somebody else further down. But yeah, as you say, it adds the whole thing above where you're going to type, when all you simply put is, I agree. Well, which particular person are you agreeing with? It's mental.
Yeah.
But because what people don't get is, well, how long does it take to scroll back up and see what Sasha said? Well, there are two problems with that. Number one, I have already read potentially what Sasha said yesterday or day before. That message is no longer showing up as an unread message, so it's not there to scroll back to. And number two, it causes you to lose your place whenever you're scrolling back, and maybe even lose part of the thread. And number three, it's just darn right rude not to include what you're talking about. So anyway, problem solved. I just was curious how you guys felt about that sort of crap.
You lose your train of thought because, as you just said there, your brain starts thinking, hang on, did I read Sasha's post? I must have read that. I seem to remember it.
She's written some really good stuff in the past. She's a very smart lady, and very aggressive. And I hate it for that. But you know what? People can be dicks all they want to.
I have no mercy.
At the end of the day, choice is yours, Mike, but I wouldn't put up with it myself. It would just drive me nuts. I just want to go around and slap her leg.
Well, she's down in Austin. We'll get Timmer to go see her.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, Nissan Communication listeners and viewers, there will be an update to the Roku app which allows live video that should be up whenever they decide to approve the app. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, that means that you'll be able to watch us on your Roku.
Yeah, whenever they approve it.
And then you need the computer in order to do the chat, though.
Oh yeah,
which is fine.
Want chat.
Yep.
So expect that. I would assume early to mid next week.
Okay, let's see what else is here. Nick, what about that article I sent you about the games, the two games? Since you're the gamer. The one you said, good article. I said, yeah, you bring it up.
Good article.
Something that was at Wired takes a look at two multiplayer survival games, Days and Rust.
Yeah, what about... Oh, that article? Oh.
Do you have it?
There's nothing to bring up. This is just another article of people saying that video games make people act like psychopaths and make them kill people. Which a million times we have concluded that that's total BS. And there's nothing to prove it.
And and a lot of people are falling for this and believe that.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you've got these stupid news organizations saying that this is what, like, you got like my grandparents watching whatever, and they hear that the video games are killing people. I mean, God knows what they think. That they think I'm going to go to the house and kill them because I play video games. I mean, it's total misinformation. They use the psychopath test. I'm sure that's a real real tested thing there.
Yep.
Ridiculous. I'm sure there's a lot of psychopaths that play music and listen to music and watch YouTube videos and do stuff like that. Yeah, there you go. Timer said Bibles are killing people.
Twitter.
Your favorite social network.
Twitter made a public stance in 2011 to remain a platform for free speech, having helped fuel movements such as the Arab Spring. This past week, however, Twitter is shown to have complied with Russian government demands to block a pro-Ukrainian Twitter feed from reaching Russian citizens, with Turkish government demands that it removes content that the Turkish government wants removed, and with the Pakistani bureaucrats' request that content he considers blasphemous and unethical be censored in Pakistan. Giving Twitter's role in the democratic uprising of the past few years, what do these capitulations bode for future movements? Will other platforms take Twitter's place? Or is it the importance to democracy of platforms such as Twitter overblown? That's a very good question. I mean, you did all that stuff. You helped people throw governments, free themselves, and now you are complying with requests from government to censor certain things.
I'm sure there's more to that than
there must be, but that's the bottom line. Comply. No, I mean, if it was me, I would say no. You can block us. Fine, block us from Russia.
I'm sure that there was money exchanged hands or something like that.
Well, then it's still a bad thing.
I'm not agreeing. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but
yeah,
unless there was something in it for Twitter, I doubt that they would go out of their way to block something. I mean, they must have agreed to something.
It's just, it's not right.
It's not right, but Twitter can run however Twitter wants to run itself.
No.
I have a YouTube question.
Yes.
Why can I not downvote a video?
Certain a content creator can block the voting of a video.
You can, so they can block it. You can like it, but you can't dislike it.
No. It's either you can rate it or you can't rate it.
Well, it's according to this. When you move your mouse over it pops up asking you which one you want to do, and it has already been rated several times. Wonder if it's another Chrome issue.
Yeah, it's probably a YouTube issue. That's a common thing that's happened many times before.
Could it be they were allowing likes and dislikes, and now they've decided to stop it?
No, because it wouldn't show them.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be nice if you could just do a thumbs up but no thumbs down.
Yeah.
I'm sure on the government videos you're able to.
Oh, aren't we cynical?
No, I'm just a realist.
And why is it that I copied the link from that article. This is bizarre. I'll figure it out. Why can I not? Where the heck did it go? Why can I not copy the link and open the same video in
in?
I'm working on it. Now I can't even find the darn thing.
And then
And then along came Jones. Oh well. Must not be important.
why you shouldn't use spreadsheets for important work. Computer science professor Daniel Lemire explains why spreadsheets shouldn't be used for important work, especially where dedicated software could do a better job. His post comes in response to evaluations of a new economics tome by Thomas Piketty, a book that is likely to be influential for years to come. Lemire writes, unfortunately, like too many people, Piketty used spreadsheets instead of writing sane software. On the plus side, he published his code. On the negative side, it appeared that Piketty code contains mistakes, fudging, and other problems. Simply put, spreadsheets are good for quick and dirty work, but they are not designed for serious and reliable work. Spreadsheets make code review difficult. The code is hidden away in dozens, if not hundreds, of little cells. If you are not reviewing your code carefully, and if you make it difficult for others to review it, how do you expect it to be reliable? The only thing that I agree here is, and I don't know what they mean by serious. I mean, Excel is a pretty serious program, but
Major serious if you know how to program it. Most people
Yeah.
don't bother to learn how to program it.
the thing is, you can put in a cell, you can put a sentence, or you can put a few words, and it's being formatted for like show 10 characters, and you see a whole word, and you don't realize that there are 7 more words in there. And if you put words in there just like notes or whatever, and you review it and you see everything, and say, yeah, it looks fine. You send it to somebody, and actually there's some text hidden there, and that can be embarrassing.
Well,
Um,
you have to learn how to use your tools. It's what I say to people. I said, if you were a policeman, you would not know how to shoot your gun. That would be a bad thing.
that would be a bad thing.
I have a personal problem with people overusing spreadsheets too, but I can't tell you what it is.
Okay, I won't ask. No, I will
I'll tell you
ask.
offline. I can't
What?
tell you on the air.
Oh, you can't say it?
Nah,
It's that bad, huh?
it is that bad.
All right. Guys, our number is 919-518-9773. Feel free to call in and chime.
I see Spencer
Timmer.
finally saw a moose.
Oh, yeah, you saw the picture?
Yeah. I see addresses in Cary, and I look them up, saying, "Wow, that's neat. Somebody's here in Cary. That's not far from where we live. Look it up. And it's a 20-minute drive from here." Cary's getting to be too big.
Addresses for...
Houses, businesses,
Oh.
parks, airports.
You learn something new every day. And today...
Should, anyway.
And today said I learned that the U.S. government has an actual standard of what counts as a high-speed internet connection. But as the Washington Post reported on Friday, the Federal Communications Commission is looking into whether it needs to raise the baseline of what constitutes broadband internet. Right now, your connection needs to achieve a download speed of at least 4 megabits per second for the FCC to consider it a broadband connection. But the agency may change the definition so only connection with download speeds over 10 megabits would count as broadband. It may even consider setting the proverbial bar as high as 25 megabits. Under this proposal, the FCC would also require broadband internet connections to support upload speeds of at least 2.9 megabits. 2.9. A significant boost from the current definition of 1 megabit minimum. The reason for the proposed change is our insatiable appetite for more bandwidth thanks to things like video streaming, cloud storage, and cat photos, among other things. As the Post points out, an HD quality Netflix stream, for instance, requires at least a 5 megabits connection. The FCC hasn't settled on a plan, but is considering asking for public comment on the proposal in the not too distant future. So 10 or up, or 25 or up. How is this going to hurt companies that do 9 down and 1 up? I don't understand. What I mean, setting up these standards, what? So you can't claim that you're a broadband provider?
It's just a bunch of mumbo jumbo. I wouldn't waste any more time even talking about it.
And where did that 2.9 megabits come from?
That means less than 3. That's what some politician has decided it should be. There's no basis for it, really.
Yeah, I mean, they just 2.9. All right.
I'm trying to figure out how to print a Google map. Why do they keep hiding this stuff?
In Chrome,
Yes.
Control F.
Nope, that's find. If I do a Control P, it brings it up.
Yeah, Andrew, I understand that. And Donovan, you're right. Andrew, you didn't call today. What happened? I heard something in the beginning of the show, something about you calling in.
He has a head problem.
He what?
He has a head problem.
Oh. A bruise?
No, hangover.
How big is it? Oh, I didn't see it. Dr. John says years ago there was a lawsuit filed because a user screwed up a bid using a Lotus 123. Interesting.
Oh,
Gonna do
yeah.
my-
I remember that.
Very interesting.
So I can't find how to print the stupid map, and I've printed these 1,000 times before.
Isn't there a button on Google Maps that says print?
There could be. I don't see it. Street view, various views, plus, minus, show my location, share, notifications.
Isn't there is a print direction?
I'm sure I'm looking at it. I just don't see it.
Do you see print directions?
Nope.
And what happens if you do Control F and just say print?
Control P and then print. It'll just print what's on the page. It does not imprint. It does not print the steps with the properly formatted map and all that.
Oh.
Let me take a look. I looked at this.
No.
I mean, it ought to work with Chrome since they own Chrome.
Does that matter that they own it?
I don't know. Nick's going to solve it for us.
Yes, give me a second.
Yeah, he may solve it, but somebody may charge him back.
Oops.
He's not talking to me.
He's looking.
No, I'm getting the direction.
Rubbing salt in the wound.
Good morning.
Hey, how we doing?
Fine, Larry. How are you?
Well, except for a cold, I'm doing okay.
Uh-oh.
I was just wondering, if there's a quick fix. I had a little problem with my computer, and when my wife was going to look at the monitor, she looked on there, and the image on the screen is turned sideways. What causes that?
You hit a key then, and you rotated your orientation.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember the key.
Is this Windows XP or Windows 7?
XP.
XP.
I'm not sure if that worked. I don't. Can you right click on the desktop and go to screen?
Yeah, you can
resolution?
do that way, but there is a key. Let's see.
It's like Control Alt right angle right
Something
arrow,
like that,
something
yeah.
like that.
Okay.
Rotating display.
Or you could turn the monitor sideways.
Hey, I thought about that. But the way I got my everything arranged, there's not enough room.
Okay, so Control Alt and then the arrow key should rotate it back. I'd keep doing that until it gets to the right orientation.
Right.
Control Alt right arrow.
Right or left arrow, yes, whatever way you want to
Oh.
go.
Okay,
It don't
no.
work on mine.
Is she there?
Oh,
Is she there?
no, no.
All right.
But I will try that though. That should work. I was pretty sure it's an easy fix, but
That doesn't work on mine.
It works for only certain video cards.
Right.
oh, we
But
must have
if
the
you
same
were
video
if
card.
you were if you were able to rotate it, I would assume that's how you rotated it. Then you should be able to reverse it.
Okay. All right, I'll
All
try that out.
Okay. If you hit list all steps, you have an option to.
Yes, that's what I was just going to tell you.
That's really intuitive.
Okay, what was that you said?
I'm sorry, Larry. It was something before you called.
Oh,
but try
okay.
that.
Oh.
There's a key sequence that's going to rotate the screen, and it doesn't work on every computer, so you have to find out which one works for your video card.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll try the other out and see, and if it don't, then
Call in.
I'll call back next week.
All right, Larry.
All right, thanks.
Take care.
Bye.
Yeah, so the key is the list all directions. You type in the address, you pick the route that you want to go, click list all directions, and there's a print icon.
I have a Hammond B3 organ that I need to store somewhere. I've been trying to find a place to store it, and a buddy of mine has volunteered to store it.
Oh, so you're trying to find where he is?
Trying to find his house.
Oh.
I found it.
Why not just use your phone for directions?
Because I'm sitting here at my computer and
Well, are you
it's running out of toner.
gonna drive from your computer?
No, I was going to walk.
Are you gonna carry the organ?
No,
Why not?
because it takes 4 people.
You can
Well,
still
hopefully
walk.
it's on wheels. You'll just be able to sit on it and just put a steering wheel on and you'll be able to ride it there.
Yeah.
It's not home, though, right?
No, it's at a guy's shop. I'm going to
Yeah.
have this guy pick it up from the shop.
Do you have a pickup truck?
I do not.
It's unfortunate.
No, if I had a pickup truck, I'd have to move it. Since I don't have one, since he's going to borrow this thing probably for 1 to 10 years for free in his recording studio, then he's going to have to go get a pickup truck.
So will he be using it? Is what you're
He
saying?
will.
Oh,
He will.
okay. That's a pretty good trade.
It is. It's a wonderful trade. It's a $12,000 organ if it's in top shape, which it's not.
Yeah, but at least you don't have to store it.
Correct. And he's actually going to use it, which makes it'll last longer being used than it will be sitting in a warehouse. And the guy is also a very good electronics engineer. It needs some additional work on it, including some capacitors being replaced. And he'll go in and do all that work and bring it up to recording studio quality. And I had even forgotten about, I had no idea he would even be interested in storing it. I posted it on Facebook, and he contacted me. He said, yeah, I'd be glad to put it in my little studio. I didn't even know he had a studio. But it's a Hammond B3 for anyone who knows the difference.
All right, I don't understand this. Why do people on the internet assume that people just do everything for free?
That's a spinoff of Obamacare.
I browse a form called For Hire. For Hire means you hire somebody, you pay them to do work. So this guy posts, looking for a developer, will be given no money. Who the hell is going to just do free work for you?
You might be surprised.
Screw that, man. Everybody's
You
so
need to
cheap.
add something to your portfolio.
I love that. No, I know.
That's my favorite.
Stop being a... Never mind. It's a family-friendly show.
Did you hear the Chinese government told all their offices not to buy Windows 8?
No.
Yeah, they listed all kind of security problems and changes and all that, but they forgot to put at the end, just wait until we make the first copy and then we'll send you one.
Ooh.
Remember how we used to say that China has one copy of Windows XP and the whole country is using the same? It's probably the same thing happening with Windows 8. We're slowing down.
Well, here's an interesting news story. A 97-year-old man lost control of his pickup truck Saturday as he backed out of his driveway in Kannapolis, North Carolina. He crashed into a neighbor's house across the street, badly hurting the couple who lives there. The truck bounced off the side of the house. I heard them screaming, said a witness. His wife, Brittany, bounced into the bed of the truck.
Ooh.
Brittany Schmidt and her husband, Nick, there you go, were rushed to the hospital with serious injuries. Nick Schmidt was pinned between the elderly man's truck and another car. It is not known if the 97-year-old will be charged.
Interesting.
I want to say something here, and oh God, I feel like this is going to come off really bad.
I'm sure it will. Go ahead.
Is this guy capable of driving? I mean, he's 97 years old.
No, obviously not.
I don't know. That's just
You're not
he
forced
should,
to
he
take.
should not be allowed to drive in the first place.
What'd you say, Steve?
Are you not required to take a second test or a test when you reach retiring age?
I know.
Yeah. Every 5 years.
Not in every state.
Okay.
And down North Carolina, which is where he is, and what happens is that if you haven't had any wrecks or tickets, all you have to do is take the eye test.
Yep.
You have to do nothing in New York State.
Well, that's insane.
I know it's insane. My grandfather's had the same license he got since he was like 16 or 17.
Gosh, he must be 60.
Yeah, and I remember when Kathy's Kathy's mother was driving, and she crashed into a little trailer that was pulled behind a pickup right here on Buck Jones, and messed up her front end. When the police got there, the guy called the police. When the police got there, she claimed, "Why does he stop in the middle of the street?" She didn't get a ticket. I couldn't believe it. And I don't know how many of you know what it is like to take the keys away from a parent that you feel like, okay, that's not safe for them to drive anymore. It's not easy.
You think you can do it? I got news for you. I'm aware of a personal situation where a family was trying to take the license away from the father, who is like 87, 88 years old. And he said, you can just stop right there. He said, if you think you're going to take my car and my license away from me, you're mistaken. He said, I fought in World War II. I fought for the right to drive, and I'm driving, so you can give it up. And he approaches violence about the topic. About the topic.
I'm sure. I mean, we had a hard time with Kathy's mom before she passed away. So I'm sure it's hard. But by the same token, what we're talking about, hello, Andrew.
Hi.
By the same token, when we're talking about passing tests and all that, what happens to your life insurance premium when you get into your 70s and 80s and 90s?
This guy still has insurance.
I understand. But what happens to your life insurance when you get up there? It goes up tremendously. Do the same thing.
Well, it depends on what policy you bought.
Do the same thing for driving.
Nick, I actually have to correct Nick. Every 8 years, you have to get a vision test here in New York.
Is that New York State?
Yeah, but what happens is you don't have to go to the DMV to do it.
You just do it you get it done at the doctor's office.
You go to the eye doctor, but you know how many people, if you've been going to the same eye doctor for 30 years, you know what the guy's going to give you? He's going to say, okay, you're fine to drive.
What about your physical? Does your physical count as a
physical?
eye
No.
test?
Well, if you're getting any kind of eye exam, yes, it counts.
Oh yeah, because doesn't a physical counts an eye exam?
In North Carolina, they change it now to every 8 years. You have to go to DMV. You have to do the eye test there, but you also have to pass on the same machine that they test your eyes. The way that they do it is they also ask you about the shapes of signs.
They're all square.
If it's square, if it's the triangle, and what is this and what is this and what is that. You can fail a few of them, but they do ask you that.
No, they don't do that here. We don't have shapes in New York.
They're all just squares.
Everything is squares.
Yeah. Well,
alcohol is one of the most dangerous substances on the planet. Someone dies from alcohol use every 10 seconds. And one night of binge drinking can take a huge toll on your immune system.
I'm sorry.
So what's up, Andrew?
To something from last night? I binge drank last night.
Binge drunk?
Biology for 1000, Alex. An integral part of the cell walls of gram-negative bacteria. These toxic compounds can trigger inflammation and other immunological responses from a single episode of heavy drinking. Answer: what are endotoxins? We found that a single alcohol binge can elicit an immune response, potentially impacting the health of an otherwise healthy individual. Our observations suggest that an alcohol binge is more dangerous than previously thought. It may even cause hair loss.
I don't agree with that.
no.
Well, that makes it false then.
I have to castigate you on that one.
It will make you into a sufferer.
I'm sorry, I tried to call in earlier, but I was having a lot of issues getting up this morning.
All right, Andrew, I have a broadcasting question for you.
Sure, I'm a professional.
I was hoping you'd call in because I felt like asking you this. I was talking to Jake last night.
Jake the Snake.
Jake the Snake about On the Radar, and we were just talking about the show and the future of it and stuff like that. Or no, like not canceling or anything. We're just talking about what we have planned to do in the future, or whatever. Do you think that uploading the show to YouTube is a must?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because YouTube gets SEO'd in search. A lot of the other video hosting companies, a lot of the other video services, they don't get SEO'd under the search algorithm. On top of that, number two, even if they do, they're buried somewhere.
Yeah, because
Google actually released something called the new Panda update, Panda 4.0, which is an update to its algorithm on how it lists websites. So I don't know if any of you have ever done this, but Nick, have you, like, you used to upload to Blip, right?
I did.
Okay. And have you ever searched your show and you saw it posted on like 500 other video services?
Yeah, because they do that. They just like grab it and repost
So,
it.
yeah, what they do, they sniff for content and then they grab it, they put it on their website. These websites now that have been doing that for years are no longer getting ranked, in the top 3 pages for the content.
So YouTube is a must then.
YouTube is a must. That's not necessarily a good thing that those companies were getting listed.
Yeah, because
it's not
they
a good
really
thing at all
were.
because it's burying the actual website. It's buried. Like, some of them will get better ranking than Blip.
Yeah.
But now none of these sites are getting ranking. So I would definitely put it on YouTube, 100%.
Okay. The only reason I just haven't been doing it is because they flag all of our videos.
We don't, for what?
Because we play gameplay or show gameplay. No audio, nothing else. And
The
it's
way
just
around that is if you put yourself in a double box with the gameplay.
We
that you
do
show.
that as well, but sometimes we put the gameplay full screen, and most of the time it's a double box or whatever else.
No, but I definitely think it's a must.
Okay. Interesting.
I'm glad
I used to
was able
upload it. I was just so sick of dealing with YouTube flagging every one of the shows. I guess I'll upload this week's and we'll see what happens.
Do it.
I'll do it right now.
Dan said that he used to drink like a fish, and he stopped around the age of 30.
Yep.
It has been a busy week. I think a lot of people in the podcasting world are starting to wake up, and I think the weather's changing, and they're getting active again. It seems like people disappear for a couple months every year.
I
I
wish.
thought it was really quiet this week. I had very little interaction with external. It was kind of nice. Oh well, spoke too soon. Oh, come on. I have 5. I posted it sure was quiet, and 5 people have responded.
Did you guys talk about the JTV story?
No, go.
No, go for it.
So I was doing the free-for-all, and I got a letter right at the end of the show from Justin TV. I'll read you guys the letter. Let me find it here. Partnership program. So we have been a Justin TV partner for a while, and it allows you to monetize on your Justin TV feed. They give you features. You get support with them. You can talk to them. So I got this email. It goes, "Dear Justin TV partner, we regret to inform you that the Justin TV partnership program will be terminated effective May 31st, 2014. We thank you for all the time you spent streaming. Our heart goes out to people helping test this program. You provided us with the best streaming content on Justin TV, and we want to help you grow, blah, blah, blah. BSBS, the final payout is July 15th. So I looked a little bit more into this, and it seems like they have not only killed the partnership program, they have also killed the premium service model for Justin TV.
Right, and it's probably because I was going to subscribe.
It's probably because Amnon was looking to subscribe, and now they killed it. But it is fascinating that this is the direction that they're headed in, considering the rumor that YouTube is buying them.
It all makes sense.
It does?
Yeah.
Why?
Because if it does end up coming true that YouTube ends up buying them, they're gonna try to kill their services while they can. If that ends up becoming true.
So on their website, I don't see anything about the premium anymore, but I do see the pro account. You could have a Justin TV Pro account.
Yeah, that's when the user pays not to get ads.
Yeah. Does Twitch have a premium model?
They have a few different. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm uploading to YouTube. They've got a few different plans. They've got a plan called Turbo, which is $5 a month. That is for the viewer to not get any ads on any channels, and that's for all for all Twitch TV channels. They don't get ads. They've got Some channels, popular channels, have a thing called subscribe, where you can pay a channel, I think $6 a month or something like that. You're supporting them. You don't see their ads; they get half of it, and Twitch gets the other half. But there's no broadcaster model that allows the broadcaster to not have ads. So it's the only way to not get ads is viewer based.
Okay. I do think that there's a shakeup. I mean, when Stick'em closed, I came, everybody that asked me about it, I said, well, they're not going to be the only ones. It's going to trickle down. They're one by one going to start realizing that this community model does not really work for these companies. They're providing a service that is very expensive still. Bits are still very pricey, especially when you're streaming consistently. And these companies really, none of them have really caught on. Ustream, I guess Ustream has done well.
I agree. But that's because
they have a premium model.
They've also done.
Livestream is selling hardware. That's where they're making their money. Justin TV's making, Twitch, and it's only ad driven. That's the only thing that they're doing.
The thing that the thing that Ustream does right is they've done a lot of the stuff with the celebrities, which in my opinion I think was a good move on their part. They have like these celebrity Q&A things like once a month or whatever. It's just good PR stuff that they're doing.
I mean, if you look at their Alexa, they have a 780 Alexa. They're a very popular website.
Yeah.
If you compare it to Justin TV, let's see. Justin TV has a 3,000 Alexa.
Look at Twitch. They're probably in the top 100.
Yeah, Twitch, I'm sure, is a lot higher. 205. 250.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, they have a 250. So JTV and Twitch are on the same, level.
Yeah.
But they're in the service business now, too. Nobody's in... The only one doing community was JTV.
Mm-hmm.
And doesn't work. Sadly. I think this is going to be good for smaller brands. I think what we're going to see is smaller companies do better because the big guys have, kind of fallen and people are dispersing everywhere. I think people like Vaughn benefit from something like this.
Now, I agree with you that they'll benefit, but now if people make a migration from Justin or Twitch to Vaughn, will they be able to hold, sustain the customers?
No, well, this is the problem. Vaughn has ads, but not much. It's one person. He's a young guy. He's a really bright guy. But he did this for fun, and now it's taken off as a business. But when you have a huge influx of new customers that demand, whatever, it gets really difficult. And I don't know if they would be able to handle a huge influx of JTV, subscribers coming over.
I mean, I just created a Ustream account for a channel yesterday because I think that there's a chance that either Justin will will only allow streaming to like partner channels or whatever, or something else.
I know some things, and I can tell you that nothing's changing for Justin for a while.
Well, that's good.
So they're not disappearing right now. So they were very adamant on telling me that this does not change any relationship with existing partners. So if you are a partner, it's not going to change anything.
Not right away.
Not in the immediate future.
Right.
That's interesting. So do you think a new company will sprout up, Andrew, to take JTV's place, or will the?
Yeah, you know what the problem is? These new companies that are starting up, they're not. Let me carefully say this.
Go read your
These
NDA
people
first.
are idiots. How about that? How is this? Most of these companies that are starting up, they're buffoons. And they're a bunch of weirdos that were part of some weird community online, and their community went away, so they started it again. So it's not going to be like a stick hammer that Mrs. Stickham that starts the company. You need a lot of money from venture groups. You need a lot of money to fund something like this.
I actually was part of a development team for a gaming CDN. This was, God, probably 2 years ago now, and I was part of their community support team. And they were going to go the venture capitalist path, and they couldn't get any investors to invest into the video CDN.
How old were these people?
These were like older. These were like middle-aged guys. These were professionals trying to start a company. These just weren't like teenagers. And I mean,
listen, you need to have a proven model. I mean, that's the bottom line when it comes to it.
And that was the problem is a lot of the investors were older people, and they just didn't understand the web video model.
We have looked into doing something for the IIB where we offer a streaming service for IIB members at a cost, but it's significant. You know, it'll be whatever. You know, only IIB members are on there, and we don't put ads on there. You pay for your stream.
Why is that not going to come to tuition? Is there
because it is the
it's
problem
a lot to manage?
When you're dealing with, you know, let's say professionals, for example, right? You're not dealing with some kid talking to so-and-so. You need to guarantee 99% uptime. And in order to guarantee uptime like that, it gets pricey.
It does, yeah. That's the biggest problem is server stuff is still so expensive.
I think what I did with the math, I could be off. I got to look at the emails with Spencer because we were looking into it for a while. It was going to cost us about $1,500 a month for servers to accommodate 20 or 30 people.
That's actually very inexpensive if you were to charge every person.
Yeah, but remember, that's 20 to 30 people. So then you got to do, you know, how much money are these people going to give you every month?
But you also have to look at how long they're streaming. If, you know, for example, if I was to pay, let's say $20 a month. Let's say I was to pay $20 a month. I only stream an hour a week.
Well, in order to do it, I think we were looking at like $100 a month.
Well, I mean, if you were to do $100 a month, people would have to be streaming 24/7 because nobody would pay $100 a month to not stream 24/7.
I think plenty of people would, and but that's the problem. Where you got to find those
$20 a month
people.
on Mixler.
What?
$20 a month on Mixler.
Yeah, but Mixler's doing audio, not video.
Ustream's Pro package is only like $50, and that allows 24-hour HD ad-free streaming. I mean,
what is it on
$100? I think it's only like $49.
That's not what I recall.
Let's see.
I thought the prices recently changed because nobody's paying.
Things did change.
Oh, okay.
Pro broadcaster. I want to see their plan because it says that I'm a pro. It says that I have the enterprise level.
I'm not sure how much the
I
enterprise
see
level
on their website. Pro broadcasting. Lens and pricing. Okay, so no, it's $99 for 100 ad-free hours. You pay $99, you get 100 ad-free hours, unlimited web storage, Ustream branding, password protection, advanced social features, 720p HD, basic mobile viewing, phone and web support. So all you're getting from this is 100 ad-free hours for $100.
Well, you can go to the cast and get the same 100 hours.
So for 2,000 ad-free hours, it's $499.
Yeah, that's what they always used to be.
For $1,000, you get 5,000 ad-free hours a month. So how many hours are in a month, Mike? You're the smart one here.
Oh, was it 1684? I don't remember. 24 times 30 was
720.
No, more than that.
Well, how many? 24 times 30.
720, it's 730 hours. Yeah. So
yes.
So there's 730 hours in a month. So why would you need 2,000 ad-free hours?
It's 2,000 ad-free per viewer.
Per viewer.
That's it. That would be if a viewer watched for 24. If a viewer watched for 720 hours, which would had it on every day or had it on all the time for a whole month, that's how much they would use. Most people, though,
what?
only maybe watch it.
I'm
Most
curious
people
on
only
what,
maybe watch.
what my viewership ad-free viewership would be. Viewership hours is for the month for me.
Well, I mean, with What the Tech, I'm sure it's extremely high.
Yeah. So we have the enterprise package with them, and they've customized the enterprise where we don't get everything. We get certain things. Like we still have ads, obviously, with our Ustream channel. But the problem with Ustream is, and this is the thing that I've really always disliked about it, that it's very difficult to get a hold of someone over there. And it's come to the point that I've spoken to Brad, the CEO, at times. I'm like, hey, I've sent 6 emails. Can you please tell so-and-so to email me back? And Brad has been like, oh, I'm so sorry. And he's gotten an email from me. But most people don't have that, that luxury of contacting the CEO to say something.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to get in touch with someone there. That's why Stickum was great. Vaughn is easier to get in touch with someone. Daily Motion, I'll tell you, out of every company, say what you want, because this is still a beta thing that they're doing. Daily Motion is still in beta. They're very quick to getting back to me.
But you have contacts there.
Yeah, I have contacts. But if you're a
Yeah,
partner,
so-
you have the contacts too.
Oh, okay. I maybe I'll try contact them. And see
Yeah. If you have the contacts. The developer emails me. I mean, they're very
That's
good.
good.
Justin TV, again, another company that we're very close with contacting people. I now have a contact there. After how many years? 5 years? I had a contact there for a little bit, and he was great. And then as soon as he left, whoever took his position, they just totally, made us disappear.
That's funny. Nick's video's frozen on the stream, but not in Skype.
Uh-oh. Spaghetti-o.
No, he probably did that.
No, I didn't. I didn't freeze my.
No,
own
I mean
video.
he restarted it.
Yes.
But JTV's doing a good thing. I'm really happy for them. If they're able to sell to Google for $3 billion, like it's rumored, that's astonishing because it's a company that's never made a dime.
Well, Twitch has. Justin has not.
Well, how much money do you think Twitch has really made?
Enough.
I don't know. I mean, Nick, the overhead is tremendous.
Andrew, they've got people or tournaments and companies will pay Twitch to come stream their event. Twitch is
but how
making
much
plenty
money's
of
left
money.
over? But net, how much money is left over in this company after the VC groups have taken their chunk, the investors have taken their chunk, the bills
Enough.
are paid? I don't
Enough. There has to be. They wouldn't be doing the stuff they're doing if they weren't making money.
Okay, so let's say they're making $1 million a year. Let's say they're evaluated at.
Have you seen their offices?
Do you evaluate that company at a $3 billion as a $3 billion company?
They have to be making more than $1 million a year.
Okay, maybe 10 million.
Maybe. I mean, I just recently saw TechCrunch
Let's
did
say
a.
20 million.
It may be, but I just saw TechCrunch did a walkthrough of their office. God, they've got like 200 employees just for Twitch. Plus their offices.
Mike, am I off here? That it's a very inflated number that they're buying them?
I think
Mike?
Mike is frozen.
I'm not frozen.
Oh, did you hear Andrew?
No, I was reading something.
I said, YouTube potentially will be buying this company for $3 billion. $2
Well, I have no idea what the number is.
billion. This is not a company that is making $1 billion a year or $100 million a year.
Well,
$1 billion is a very inflated number that they're buying them for. So
Yeah, because of the user base.
Yeah, they're probably buying it for the user base because they're looking at it as converted. It's a converted acquisition of users. They're thinking about, okay, well, I think they have 45 million unique visitors a day. That's the importance there.
See, the problem is they're not going to get new users from this. Everybody that watches Twitch watches YouTube. I mean, it's a gaming audience. The gaming audience is all over the place.
What if they rebrand YouTube Live?
It's not going to work.
They just call it Twitch.
The problem is that reason people don't use YouTube and YouTube Live is because they're hard asses about their copyright policy. They don't give their rev share is garbage. The big problem is YouTube treats their viewers like crap, or their content creators like garbage.
Well, the bottom
and that's
line
why
is
they've moved to
people go
Twitch.
where the eyeballs are. The reason why everybody hates YouTube, but people go there is because there are people that are invested in the ecosystem of YouTube, and they go and they watch videos all day long on YouTube.
I
That's
watch videos all the
people are
time on
uploading
YouTube.
them. The
But
same
I've watched content creators that have over 1 million subscribers, 1 million subscribers, and they have completely stopped uploading to YouTube because they constantly were getting screwed by them, and they've moved to Twitch and now do
That's
that
the
full
question
time.
I was going to ask you, Nick. Because the gaming community is so cohesive and so tightly, they're so tight with each other. I would think that when you have a company like Twitch catering to gamers, they didn't have any problem attracting people, the
No.
gamers.
Because they hate YouTube. YouTube treats them like garbage. All of these people on Twitch, most of them despise YouTube. Because all YouTube has done is flagged and copyrighted their videos for whatever reason. The rev shares, like I said, are garbage.
Well, by the way, let's be fair. A lot of this flagging is incorrect, and
It
you
is
have
incorrect.
to spend half a day proving that the material that they flagged is not in violation of anyone's copyright.
Yeah, I mean the problem is these people just don't want to deal with YouTube, and they have found Twitch, and that's why I keep saying if YouTube and Google buy Twitch, it's gonna fail, because if they implement the stuff that they've got implemented on YouTube, everybody is gonna leave. That's why they left YouTube.
Well, I will tell you that it is very common knowledge in the business community that if you want to make a bunch of money, you go out and, for an example, you create a site catering to a subset of another company, such as in this case, you create Twitch to cater to a segment of the YouTube community that hates YouTube, that is in gamers. You build it up, you become successful with the absolute intent that Google purchase you for an extraordinarily large sum of money. That's called an exit strategy, and it's probably written into the business plan.
Yeah, and I'm fine with them selling. I mean, I honestly don't stream on Twitch, but YouTube is insane to think that if they make changes, they implement Google Plus into Twitch and all this other stuff, people are going to find another place to go. Hitbox.tv. That's where they'll end up going. I mean, it's just the people don't stream on Twitch because it's the only option out there. People stream on Twitch because the other options are not ideal, and it's a pain to use them.
By the way, you're talking about how many hours and how many this and that. With the shows that I do on Nissan Communications, and I use Bamboozer only for live, I don't restream on it. In May, it used 349 hours. Viewer hours.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
Some on Computers 2K Now, on the Vaughn video or on the Daily Motion video, used to have like 20,000 views.
No, on the Bamboozer.
That's what I'm sorry. That's what I meant. Bamboozer.
Well, in May.
No, those views are post though. They're not live views. They're post views.
Oh, well.
When you would
true.
see like a video at like 4,000 or 5,000 on Bamboozer, that was post show.
Yeah, but this was right after we stopped the show.
Yeah, no, that was live.
So
Right,
that
that
but
was live.
But also understand that's somebody who clicks on it for 3 seconds too.
Yeah,
Yeah, but if 20,000 people click on it for 3 seconds, and imagine some of them watch for 3 hours, I mean that there's either two things that are inaccurate there: the viewer hours are inaccurate, or the view counts are inaccurate.
well,
Probably both.
in the last
Yeah.
month or so, we were on an average anywhere between 600 and 1,000 on Computers 2K Now.
Well, that's because
Live.
it's not the main CDN
Live.
anymore.
And I'm looking here at the stats, and it's 14,963 viewing minutes total, and viewing hours total is 349.38.
Interesting.
And Did you realize it's still illegal to congregate in public in New York with 2 or more people while each wearing a mask or any face covering which disguises your identity?
Absolutely.
So no,
That's
no
good.
No
And
anonymous.
that's very
meetings.
good.
Yeah,
You know
it's
what
a
kind of animals we
KKK
have
law.
running around the streets? Go to worldstarhiphop.com, Mike, and take a look.
Well, that means you can't wear your hood whenever you're out in public, Andrew.
You can wear a hood as long as it's actually, you cannot have your entire face covered. You could have half your face covered.
It's not what it says. It's illegal to congregate in public with 2 or more people while each wearing a mask or any face covering which disguises your identity.
Well, a hoodie is
Yep.
does not cover your face.
Yeah.
A hoodie is just.
I didn't say hoodie. I said hood.
Oh, a hood. You mean KKK?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's like a mask.
No,
Yeah.
I think,
It's also-
in New York's, we don't have it here, but I think we have other kinds of masked gangs.
It's also adultery is a crime. A fine of $25 can be levied for flirting. It is against the law to throw a ball at someone's head for fun. The penalty for jumping off a building is death. New Yorkers cannot dissolve a marriage for irreconcilable differences unless they both agree to it. A person may not walk around on Sundays with an ice cream cone in his pocket.
Mike, these laws are everywhere. Weird laws like this.
Women may go topless in public providing it is not being used as a business.
Yep, 1992 they changed the law, and now in 1992 women were allowed to walk around topless.
While riding in an elevator, one must talk to no one and fold his hands while looking toward the door. You may not smoke within 100 feet of the entrance to a public building.
It is illegal for a butcher to sell hamburgers that contains more than 30% fat. The punishment, up to 30 days in jail. The fatty hamburger law.
You may not, slippers are not to be worn after 10 o'clock p.m.
Spitting on a New York City sidewalk is illegal.
It is illegal for a woman to be on the street wearing body-hugging clothing. Oh, get this. This is my favorite. Think about this, the way it's written. Citizens may not greet each other by putting one's thumb to the nose and wiggling the fingers.
People ever greet each other like that?
But they can do it after they greeted each other.
I guess. That's what it says.
Oh, boy.
I'll tell you, I miss Bloomberg.
Well, you get what you pay for.
Everybody hated Bloomberg. Now we have a communist.
Ocean City, New York. People may not slurp their soup. Raw hamburger may not be sold. Pinball machines are not to be played on Sunday.
He's a pinball wizard.
It is illegal to disrobe in a wagon.
Well, that's how it is in Afghanistan, you know. I mean,
Uh-oh. Staten Island. Here we go. You may only water your lawn if the hose is held in your hand.
Yeah, isn't that a type of water restriction?
Uh-oh. Staten Island again. It is illegal for a father to call his son a faggot or queer in an effort to curb girly behavior.
When was that put in Staten Island only?
That's in Staten Island.
You know what's really funny? That law had to have been put in place in the 60s because Staten Island was not really it was like the Woodlands up until they built the bridge. And they didn't build that bridge till the 50s and 60s. It's not that old of a law.
A bill has been passed in North Carolina that restricts local planning agencies' ability to use climate change science to predict sea level rise.
Climate change is bullshit.
No kidding. There's no evidence of it. Of course that's law. No one may be a professional fortune teller, and if one wishes to pursue the...
Brian is asking in chat, which hose?
Which
Are we
hose?
talking
I don't
about
remember
a
which one we're talking
hose?
about.
Are we talking about like irrigation hose or hose?
I
Like,
don't know.
oh, you my hoe.
That's what we talk about, the law of unintended consequences, because these morons in the government pass laws without understanding what all the words mean.
I love that we have 3 words and they each mean something totally different.
It's illegal to have sex in a churchyard.
Well, look, our mayor did do something really good. He made sure that he ruled out the bid for the 2024 Olympics for New York.
Well, good. You don't need that trash in your state anyway.
No, we don't. Do you know how devastating having the Olympics in your city is?
That's New York City. That's just for New York City, not for the state.
Well, everybody suffers. Look at every city or country that has hosted the Olympics 8 years after they've hosted it. It's really a disaster. But I don't know if you guys have been following the Olympic stuff.
No.
But you know the Olympic committees have made it a point to host the Olympics in like crappier countries, like
Yeah, so
Brazil.
they can go in
For
and destroy
example.
them.
Yeah, I mean the entire place is a dump. But so they did this in Greece to boost the Greek economy. You know, they did the Beijing Olympics, and now that entire area that they had hosted a Beijing Olympics in is kind of it's falling apart. So they had nominated Brazil to host it, and I don't know who's hosting it afterwards. I don't remember. But this was part of the initiative to bring in more developing nations to host the Olympics to, you know, bring them some sort of prominence. They are now realizing that concept doesn't work. These countries are totally corrupt. Like, look at Russia. They're not getting anything done. They're lying about everything, and the Brazilian committee that's in charge of putting together the Olympics. So they had, if we equal this to Greece, Greece had 70% done at this point, or 40% done. It was kind of like an okay number. They don't even have 10% done yet.
Look at
They
the
have maybe 2% of the structures built in Brazil.
look at the Olympics in Russia. The stuff wasn't even ready when it started.
And now they're panicking and they're saying, well, maybe this is not a good idea. So they're looking to bring it back to like North American and Western countries. What are they doing hosting it in Brazil? What is going on?
Well,
Money.
it's all about the money. Did you know this is terrible? I just learned something I did not know about North Carolina law. Elephants may not be used to plow cotton fields.
Why are you still reading these?
I'm learning. I mean, I have to learn these things. Did you know that while having sex, you must stay in the missionary position and have the shades pulled?
That's obscene.
Now, this one is interesting. I've checked out a couple of these, and this site is apparently doing some research, so it's maybe there's some interpretation here, but it says that if a man and woman who aren't married go to a hotel or motel and register themselves as married, then according to state law, they are legally married.
What state is this?
North Carolina.
Like I called them that were married.
All couples staying overnight in a hotel must have a room with double beds that are at least 2 feet apart. Now, see, they report this one. This is a law that I happen to be familiar with. They report this as a dumb law. It says that a $3 tax must be paid on all white goods sold. Right. Well, as much as I dislike taxes, at least I understand the thought process behind it. And it is that white goods mean washers, dryers, things like that. They're having major disposal issues with these large appliances, so they imposed a $3 tax on all sales to be able to dispose of them. But then, of course, the dirty dogs imposed a disposal fee when you get rid of it too.
Nobody disposes of washer dryers. They recycle the metal.
Well, you should recycle the metal. But
They
there's
do.
a recycling fee.
They do. They make money from it.
Well, now they do. It's illegal to serve alcohol at a bingo game. Organization. Oh, this is a good one. Like New York's law, organizations may not hold their meetings while the members are present in costume. That's what their interpretation of the law is. But what's interesting is what the actual law says, which says no person or persons at least 16 years of age shall, while wearing a mask, hood, or device whereby the person's face or voice is disguised, That's the anti-KKK law.
Now I know what Mike is doing when he's
What am I
sitting there.
doing?
This is what Mike does when he says he's working.
Well, I'm not working on Sunday morning.
I know, but like when you're working at your office, do you just Google these laws?
No,
Why?
I have other things to do.
Well, this is part of work.
Right.
Mike, are you getting paid to do this?
I am not.
Interesting.
In Idaho, it's illegal for a man to give his sweetheart a box of candy weighing less than 50 pounds. You may not fish on a camel's back.
Defines what is the definition of sweetheart?
You don't get to define them. That's the law of unintended consequences. These morons pass these laws without carefully considering the breadth of what they're writing. Riding a merry-go-round on Sundays is a crime. Residents may in Boise up. Here you
Boise.
go, Brian. Here you go, boy. You're a criminal. Residents may not fish from a giraffe's back.
Giraffes in Boise.
What the heck?
Well, it's
I
against the
thought we had
law.
some weird laws in England.
Oh boy.
I remember I thought these were funny when I was in like third grade.
Here's Coeur d'Alene. Uh-oh. Now this one. Now here you go, guys. This is going to sound like I'm making this up, but I'm not. But I want to ask. I'm going to read this description of this law, and I want to ask a serious question about it. A dead serious question about it. All right. It says here, if a police officer. Now this is in Coeur d'Alene. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's in Idaho. It says, if a police officer approaches a vehicle and suspects that the occupants are engaging in sex, he must either honk or flash his lights and wait for 3 minutes before approaching the car. Now, here's my serious question. How did that law get passed?
Or how does he know that they're engaged?
Some politician got caught in the act, and so he gets a law passed to protect himself.
Coeur d'Alene,
Coeur d'Alene.
Ryan says, yes.
So there you go. If you're going to do it, and there you could make sure that you got. Never mind.
Yeah, Mike, quit while you're ahead.
I did. In Pocatello, Idaho, I'm going to quit. I got two more.
Oh, Jesus.
No, I got one more. Pocatello, Idaho, a law passed in 1912 provided that the carrying of a concealed weapon is forbidden unless some are exhibited to public view.
Say that again?
A law passed in 1912 provided that the carrying of concealed weapons is forbidden unless some are exhibited to public view.
So you have to have it like holstered or something where somebody could see it?
No, you don't get to interpret these things. You just have to read them the way that they are. The point is, if it's exhibited to public view, it's not concealed.
Is a gun in a holster, like on your side, is that not concealed?
Unless some are exhibited. I guess what it's saying is if you got 7 guns, 3 of them need to be exhibited to public view.
Yeah. Whatever.
Brian,
All right.
I'm not answering that question on the air. All right, it's 12:01.
Oh, so now we get to end it now that you finished your laws.
You go ahead and have at it. What do you want to cover, Nick?
Nothing.
We could do California. I bet we'd be here for 2 hours on that one. Prison workers are no longer allowed to have sex with inmates. Film producers have to have permission from a pediatrician before filming a child under the age of 1 month.
I think Andrew gave up on us.
He just hang up.
Hmm?
I said, did he just hang up?
Yep.
Probably his internet went down. It is unlawful to let a dog pursue a bear or bobcat at any time. How do you tell a dog not to go pursue a bear
You
or
say
a
no.
bobcat?
Bad.
Right.
No.
Lock it inside.
San Jose and Sunnyvale, it is illegal for a grocery store to provide plastic bags.
Mike, leave some for next week.
Listen, there's an unlimited number here. All right, we'll quit with this one. We'll quit with this one. We'll quit with this one. You ready? Have you ever heard of Baldwin Park, California?
Yeah, I live there.
No.
Nobody is allowed to ride a bicycle in a swimming pool.
Actually, they sell. There's people that have those what are those things called? It's like where the exercise bike is like underwater. Somebody knows what I'm talking about.
Wind it up, Amnon.
All right. We need to come up with a name for this segment.
Could we call it goodbye?
A lot of people did.
It could be called the Nick Going Away segment.
Some of the audience did. Anyway. All right, everybody.
Bye-bye.
That was pretty good.
It was all right.
Have a wonderful week.
Thank
Steve,
you, Mike.
thank you.
Thank you.
Nick, Mike, thank you, guys. It was great. And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie, and Donna. Thank you, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing, back up your hard drive, and update your virus scanner. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. While you're at it, like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's growing. Not fast, but it's growing. Tune in tomorrow morning at 11 for the Health In Show. At 1 o'clock, it's Breaking Free. And tomorrow night at 7, tomorrow evening, it is the Tanya Love Show. See you, everybody.
Tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. Our weekly lineup of call-in programs includes Computers 2K Now with Amnon Nissan, Health In with Debbie Bruck, Breaking Free with Marilyn Shannon, Lessons of Vietnam with NCVVI members, The Tanya Love Show, Reawaken Your Brilliance with Julie Seibert, and if you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it at www.nissancommunications.com. Sponsored by Atomus.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters for professionals. That VidBlasterGuy.com, CarolinaApparel.com, and DeltaForce.net.